Oh, so Dorian. Let me see.
I'm scared. What's up, everybody? It's time for the paranormal discussion on BOOMA Community Streama number 45. We got some new people and we got some things to share. And I saw the Miss Cajones, and welcome everybody that's in the live chat. It's already late, and yes, this might be a little bit creepy before you go to bed. So fair warning to everybody. But welcome everybody. Welcome everybody here on the panel. We got a couple newbies. Lioness Roars, welcome. If you can hear me.
Thank you. Yes, great to be here.
Awesome. And then Slamtastic brought her husband Dirk. Welcome, Dirk.
His hand disappears.
His hand disappears.
You don't have to say a lot. I'm not putting anybody on the spot. You don't need to give your life story or anything like that. My name's Dorian, and I'm an alcoholic. Oh wait, that's a different group. Anyways, Mike's back. What's happening, Mike?
Chilling, man. How you doing? Thank you for having me, sir. How's everybody out there?
It looks like the chat's getting all fired up. I'll show it on the screen here every once in a while. We're having we have 6 on the panel, so it covers up people's faces, and we don't want none of that. We want to be able to see everybody's beautiful faces. And then we got Heather back. What's happening, Heather?
Hey. Not much. Excited for tonight's show.
Are you afraid of no Ghostbusters? Charlie, what's happening?
Not much. Stoked for this show.
Right.
We've been waiting a while.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever seen a ghost in your house, have you?
No.
Yeah.
It's all
not a thing.
It's all woohoo.
Right. There's no such thing as ghosts. Right?
Mm-mm.
I can't stop laughing. For you that weren't paying attention to the screen, you just missed out. That was funny. It might happen again. We'll see what happens. Then I'll come back to you, Slamtastic. I wasn't trying to brush over you, but I thought I'd come back to you. We got a couple things in the beginning to start with. I don't know where to start with the pictures and stuff but how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Like I said, he's experienced more paranormal stuff, and I've been witness to some, but it's been like, okay, no, you gotta come talk about some of the stuff you've experienced because it's unreal.
Right, and they just shared a couple pictures with me. We'll get to those in a little bit. We got what's up, Joanne in the house. We got Margaret in the house. Or not, I don't know how to say that, but hello everyone, and it's nice to see new faces or new tags. I don't know some of you, and I always love to see this thing grow. This guy, some people might know, maybe. Yeah, just biscuits. What's happening? And I actually did want to bring this up because I hope no one's getting visited by the ghost Lindsey Graham, because that would be one creepy ass ghost. But rest in pieces, if you will, Lindsey Graham. I'll just say that. Yes, but did you guys hear that news that Lindsey Graham went over to Ukraine, came back, and suddenly died? Sorry.
I did not hear that.
Yeah. Well,
so for those of us who don't know, who is Lindsey Graham?
Oh, he's a McCain. He's basically the continuation of McCain. I'll pull him up here on the screen, and when you see his face, you'll know who he is. But let me pull him up so everybody knows this was Lindsey Graham. So if he's really dead, then I hope no one sees his ghost, because he's a warmongering piece of, and he's dead. So we'll just say that.
Okay.
Wow, he aged really quickly.
Well, he literally just went over to Ukraine and came back and then died. So whatever really happened there, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to kick off a war with Russia or get U.S. more involved in the Ukraine situation. I have no idea how they're going to spin that. But and then we got we're waiting on whether or not Mitch McConnell is actually dead or going to be announced dead, or if he's going to miraculously just all of a sudden pop back out on some kind of drugs or maybe a clone. I think his wife went back to China, where she's from. Like one of the like main people in the Senate on the Republican side has a wife that is I think dual citizen, Chinese and American, and she went back to China maybe to get a clone of Mitch to bring him back out, but I don't know. We never know. I thought Biden, before he ran for president, I thought he was dead, and they were just bringing out a clone, and then he's still freaking out there, whatever that thing is. But so there's some paranormal activity for you in the politics of American whatever lore. So welcome everybody. Yes, that's how I look at it. She's a freaking Chinese spy. The same thing with Feinstein. Had like a personal driver that was Chinese for many years. How that works. And then Swalwell, was it a Chinese spy that he slept with? And it's well known. You guys know who Swalwell is? If you don't know these characters, you don't really need to know. They're just more scumbags of the in the U.S. politics or whatever. But welcome, Don. What's happening? What's happening? F. Fox and Valerie Smith. It's always good to see y'all. So we got the Lindsey Graham thing out of the way, and that would be one scary ass ghost. He was scary while he lived, and he was part of starting the Ukraine war. So him and McCain kicked a lot of that off, from what I hear, and everything that I've seen. Yes, Fang was the one that was the I think it's Chinese spy that Swalwell was all about. And then now Swalwell has come out. It was exposed on him not that long ago of all his debauchery of sleeping with people. And yeah, I think he got kicked out of Congress. Anyways, it's so tragic when they die from anything other than being publicly executed for treason. Hey, there's a lot of people out there pushing like, we're about to see it. The White Hats are about to expose the truth. What's going on? They've taken out Lindsey Graham and they've taken out Mitch McConnell, and the White Hats are about ready to show the world. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Whatever. What's up, Michelle? All right, and Monica's in the house and been in the house, and it's good to see y'all. And let's get started. Okay, so we had that. Lindsey Graham. So how do we want to start this? We got Charlie in the house, and she had shown on a previous episode. Let me pull up your picture here that you got. Go ahead. The paranormal equipment tester.
So just before we hop into everything, just to sort of transition from our last discussion about the paranormal that we briefly touched on in fascia, fungus, and frequency, some of the other explanations that can provoke paranormal experiences in our perception. This does not cover everything, of course, but we did tie into the fact that, hey, why do we use electromagnetic field detectors to pick up on paranormal activity? That tells us a lot just with that alone. And then the other things that can alter perception, we know electromagnetic frequencies and RF have a neuromodulating effect, sometimes deliberately, as we know with these creeps, but mycotoxins and neurotoxins from mold, infrasound, Sabrina covers that a lot, infrasound, low frequency sound waves below the bounds of human hearing can cause people to feel and see ghostly presences as well. And we're dealing with all kinds of exciting weapon systems and infrastructure that utilizes things like infrasound. Not to mention the underground magnets, the particle accelerators. We've got one just north of here, the largest linear accelerator in the world at Stanford Labs.
What's that one called?
SLAC, Stanford Large Linear Accelerator Center, SLAC. No.
Do they report Stanford, a lot of activity happening around that area? Any idea?
I mean, everyone in the Bay Area is very new agey and has their stories of spiritual experiences. I'll share mine today.
Okay.
And then the other one is fluctuations, of course, in the Earth's magnetic fields. The Schumann resonance. Solar activity affects the brain's electromagnetic activity. We see that in psych wards and hospitals, people during periods of high solar activity, coming in with panic, paranoia, nervous breakdowns, things like that.
Right.
So yeah, those are things to keep in mind. Of course, other things that can influence paranormal behavior and activity are things like ley lines, primary water underground, things like that. So these all influence our experience here on Earth. They influence our perception. Maybe sometimes they expand it, but maybe sometimes they also limit it to something that we are maybe a core fear that we're afraid of. And we've all got headfuls of Hollywood.
Right.
So our brain will immediately go to whatever the Hollywood explanation is that we've logged away, as opposed to what are these other possibilities that could be creating and provoking these experiences or altering our perception of what's happening. So yeah.
Right. And then like the low frequency and all those sounds and stuff like that, it's like military grade being integrated with Hollywood. Who knows how many of those old scary movies up to current day where they utilize some of that into the tracks, because somebody exposed when Leave the World Behind came out, because I watched that movie and it's not really a horror movie. It's got some intense stuff and it's scary on the sense of like what could be possible that they could pull in this world, military wise and then technology wise. But it was like giving me an anxiety attack while I was watching it. And somebody at least claimed that there was a fourth unknown, inaudible to human ears track that's like a military grade style where it causes you to feel irritated and whatnot. And they use it to create riots, unrest, and then they can come in with their goons and shoot and, you know, gas and guns and stuff like the BB guns, like what we saw like a J6 and those kinds of things. So who knows if some of these like exorcism that we were talking about, the exorcism of The Exorcist and exorcism of Emily Rose and some of these old scary horror movies and stuff like that, how often were they maybe utilizing some of this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Who freaking knows? And they're about ready to come out with a new Steven Spielberg one. I can't remember the name of it right now, where they're supposedly disclosing to the world, but that gets into more of the alien side of things. But all this paranormal stuff, man, it's interesting, like you're pointing out here, how they use the EMF and RF readers to hunt ghosts. So if you guys ever got into any of those shows where they go and they hunt ghosts in very creepy places or old places, old asylums, old prisons and stuff like that, they use those meters. So it's like, what are they recording? What are they really tapping into? It's like an energy presence that still exists in that space, I guess you would say. But how much of it is also caused by the technology? So if you had Sabrina Wallace in here, she might be saying stuff like, how much the technology is being used to manipulate us and see things that we don't see. In the Steven Spielberg needs to visit Ukraine and then come back and we'll see what happens. There's so many ways we could go with this. That was a good thing to point out as far as the EMF stuff goes. We got a couple things that Slam and Dirk they wanted to show. I guess we could jump into those. I think everybody here has a story. We'll get to Charlie's as well. And Charlie, there's never been a ghost in your house. It's never been recorded on video anyways, right?
No, we really don't have much anything over here other than very, very normal, California stuff.
Right.
We just sort of hang out and nothing exciting ever really happens here. So
it'd be really strange if there was like a ghost in your house just randomly.
I know, right? It would never happen.
It would never happen, though. No way. That would really be a thing.
No.
Wasn't the film Halloween filmed in California? The movie?
Probably.
The actual series Halloween?
Yeah, like the first
Right.
one at least. I was just saying.
Right. So when I was a kid, so I don't know how much that influenced because I had night terrors. And I won't get into my full stuff because I want to get to the Slam and Dirk stuff and all those kinds of things. And we'll all have a chance to tell it. And then on these panels, just jump in or whatever where you get a shot. But when I was growing up, Chucky was a thing. Now it became a little cornier as the series progressed, but it was fucking scary the first couple. You know, that scary place and that freaking doll. My buddy kind of a vibe to it or whatnot. Then you had Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. You had some really
Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
the 13th.
Poltergeist.
And I also watched The Stand, which back in the day,
I didn't watch that.
I can't believe I'm saying this shit because I still don't feel like I'm that old yet, but we were going to the store, to the movie store to get VHS tapes. They were called VHS tapes, kids. And we'd have to get like 4 or 5 of them to watch the whole series that was The Stand, because it was a long ass Stephen King book. I don't know if Stephen King's a male or a female or what that thing is, but either way, The Stand was created. And I watched all of that. It took like 4 or 5, 6, I don't know how long that thing is. And they've done a remake of it ever since. Watch that as a kid. Scary as fuck. And set some stuff in your mind. And then I had Night Terror. So who knows if it set the stage for that, or, you know, as a young kid, you still have that imagination that the world's slowly like, you can't do this. This is what's reality. That's stupid. You're dumb. Don't believe that kind of a thing. And then it crushes that imagination. But then when Hollywood gets their hands on your imagination, well, then you're laying in bed at night when it's freaking dark. I had to have a night light most of my childhood going into adulthood. So I was so scared at night. So who knows how much some of this stuff plays into it. That includes the stuff that we cover with the mycelial networks, the fungi, then all of the EMF and all of the radiation, the various technologies that are coming into play. Some of the people that have experienced, I know we won't get into aliens so heavily, but it points out some people talk about some of the abductions possibly being done by the military industrial complex, having technologies that look alien or paranormal and abducting them and then doing experiments, but then us coming up with the ideas that maybe it's being done by aliens. And some people think that all aliens are just demons, maybe. And then there's interdimensional stuff, and there's all kinds of things. Like, what is a ghost? What is a ghost really? It's crazy. And then you get psychic readings that I don't really like getting into the psychic stuff. I don't feel comfortable with it. I feel like the Bible warns about it, but whatever you guys believe, it is what it is. Some people then start talking about how they're talking to like people from the past, people that have passed away. And it's like, I don't know if you're talking to them, if you're talking to a demon, if you're talking to a technology. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but there is some crazy shit going on here. So let's get to it. Let's get into some of these pictures that Slam and Dirk have to show, and check them out. And then I think it'll get everybody's juices flowing, and eventually everybody will probably have something to say on this, because this world is fucking crazy shit. Let's start with the video. All right, so set the stage for us. What we got here?
So you want to explain, because you're friends with Susan, so.
Well, just a friend of mine sent me this video and asked me what I thought of it, and yeah, I'm kind of confused by it. So we played it slowly, and then we saw what I say is an entity showing up at the end of it, kind of looking at the camera and taking off.
All right. This sounds like a lovely video. Let's watch it. There it is.
So the video, for some reason, freezes here, where you don't really get to see the...
Right.
So if you go about 3/4 of the way through it, it kind of shows up where you can almost kind of right there. You can kind of see the face on it.
Are you looking in here, or are you looking up high?
Right there.
Right, those are the eyes.
That's the eye there. If you go a little bit more to the left, there's the other one. So the picture Sam sent you kind of shows it a little better.
Right, I'll pull the picture up now. But
Yeah,
it is strange that there's nothing going on. It's very clear. Sky's clear. You see some even stars in the background, it seems. The whole area has no fog or any mist or anything like that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you have this something come into play.
Yeah.
The first time I saw this, I pylo erected like instantly as soon as I saw that come up.
Right, and that's part of what our biofield also does, is alert us to harm. that
Right.
you might not hear or see with your eyes, but you know something's going on. Or it's like that feeling when somebody's looking at you from even afar and you're like, feel kind of weird or whatever.
Yeah.
I heard Chris Crutchfield, I think, said it the best or whatever, but it's like when something's getting into your biofield and has bad intentions and you sense that, you piloerect because it's your body's response to, like, it's a fight or flight kind of response. You're preparing for, like, something is not right and I need to know more about this. And then you start sensing whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So that was the video. Now let me pull up the picture and we'll take a closer look at that, where it's framed a little bit for us. Here we go.
So there you can kind of see where the glowing spots at the top of it, which would, to me, indicate eyes. And then on either side, you can kind of see like an arm coming down from it.
And I took that screenshot right the first time I'd seen the video because I'm like, send it to me. And the first time it sure appeared more clear, but then every time we were trying to rewatch it to get a better shot of it, it was glitching out and not giving us ability to see the video.
Right, and that's what happens with a lot of these damn things. It's like what the heck are we looking at? Because it's almost like, I don't know. I got into the ghost stuff for a while, and I couldn't tell because it's almost like they're fucking with us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something's fucking with us, or they don't want us to have a full picture. It's like they're aware, like there's a certain awareness with whatever this is. If there's something behind this, like it's a smoke screen being used with technology or something, or it's an entity that understands humans and the capabilities of cameras.
And for us, it almost seemed like it stood off with the camera and stood there for a second before then leaving, so that it was like what is that? You know what I mean? Almost like it was staring it down, and it was like, that's weird.
File that one under swamp gas. Good call. Ghost, you can't park there.
But I mean, we've been out to Susan's land and we have had experiences of other entities or other things there that the one time we were out there. So we're not sure. And she's actually cross-referenced ley lines to see if she's near ley lines, to see if it's something that's coming through the ley lines, because she's just as curious as we are.
And that camera is up all the time and never catches anything else.
No, but she gets animal activity once in a while from it, like regular deer or raccoons running through. But she just sent me that video the other day, just asking me what I thought about it. So,
Monica, if you want to jump on, we can bring you on. You've been in the community for a while. I'll send you a link. Let us know, or let Heather know. Heather, do you communicate with Monica?
I can. Yeah, she's in my ladies group.
If you want to come on, Monica, bring it on.
Send it to her.
But what do you guys think? What do you, Charlie? What do you think when you see something like that?
You know, for me, there's so many different, trees and fauna that release pollen in the night in actual pollen bursts, and they form these clouds that sort of dissipate. Now, does that mean I don't believe that this could be paranormal? And no, I don't know, but I sent you a few videos, shorts from YouTube, Dorian, of pollen releases if you wanted to compare and contrast. Sometimes they can be enormous, like tsunamis of pollen, but sometimes, like with just a nettle, it's a small burst near a camera and it creates a very ghostly apparition. Sometimes it looks like steam. Pollen is very like almost spore-like in the way it moves when and of course there's fungal releases too. Yeah. These bursts. So
let me pull up some of those to take a look at them. So here is a massive tree pollen explosion explained.
Perhaps you've seen this video online.
Okay, go ahead and shake it.
I think she nails it. That is one yellow cloud of doom for all of us allergy sufferers.
I don't care what they're saying, but I want to see that again because that kind of looks like it. You think you'd pick that up? Same
That's
way
a massive one. That's a super one, but that gives the idea that, like, on a perfectly clear, non-foggy day,
Yeah.
It gets pretty nuts sometimes.
And I think I'd be more inclined to think that it would be fauna if it was something that she saw on a regular basis, because this is a camera that's been out there for quite some time.
Right. Wouldn't you get like that regularly if it was happening?
Yeah,
like,
and that's my thought.
At least annually.
Right? Or annually, or what, you know, on a regular basis. Right? Like,
right.
And the directionality of it is what gets me as well, because it comes straight from the ground straight up.
Yeah.
It doesn't swirl to the side like a wind would move it or anything. It just
Right.
kind of
It doesn't linger like that. That kind of lingers. We got a couple more we'll take a look at just because could play a factor into some of the other discussions as we get into them. Let's check out this one. Look at the pollen in this pine tree.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
Damn, I've never seen pollen
That's
that
a
bad.
lot of pollen. Holy.
Damn. Now that's some pollen. That's some serious freaking pollen. I've never seen a pine tree with that much pollen.
I have not either.
Wow. But that doesn't look at all like what we saw. And then let's look at one more here, though. But these are things to take into consideration with some of this stuff.
Absolutely.
This is cedar pollen. So this one looks like they throw like a rock or something into the tree to make it happen. And then it comes out like this.
Yeah. So pine cones can burst too. Just as soon as like it hits a certain temperature and humidity level, they'll release a cloud. You mentioned that it came from the ground. Fungus releases their spores generally from the ground, from fallen trees and branches. Let me show you. If you want to see a fungal burst, I can send that too. These are just ones
I was going to say, that's something that we're actually going out to her land to take a look at where this camera is, see what is out there, observe what is out there. But we're also going to, in one of the Synergy group chats, Sabrina had posted, I can't remember, Chris, regarding his silent pillars with the biochar and that. And we're actually going to do that same thing out at her land to kind of, shield her land, create that biodiversity, cleanse the land. If it is something that's not supposed to be there, then it'll be like, get out of here. If it's just natural stuff, that's fine. But, we do plan on going out and maybe go for farts. Jeez.
There's some great stuff going on in the chat here. I love this fucking chat. You guys that watch these on the replay or whatnot, you miss out the live experience because some of this shit is freaking hilarious. We have Biscuits calling out that this is niche tree porn, so we're into tree porn now. And then Michelle says maybe it's ejaculating. We're talking about fungal farts as being a possibility.
Yeah, it looked like it was having a cigarette.
About goes about, and it just turns out that fungus is just farting everywhere occasionally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weird glow. You had me at fungal burst. This is great. Mike, the ghost expert, what do you think? What do you make of this so far?
Goodness. Well, I guess a little of this, a little of that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Right, so many different factors.
I'm sorry?
There's so many different factors. It's hard to tell, and that's what makes it tough, right?
Right. Yeah, like that last one, it looked like the tree was having a cigarette. That's all I saw. But, I don't know. I seen weird, like on a cam. Like, yeah, it looks it didn't look natural. I'll say that. It looked like formation type shit. Whatever. Beyond that, I don't know.
I hear you. And then Lioness Roars, if you want to jump in at any point, just holla. I'm going to bring this back up. Oh, go ahead. Did you have something? Did you want to add to it?
for you. Yeah, premature fungal.
I think I caught some of that. You're breaking up a little bit. Premature what?
Fungulation.
Fungulation. Premature fungulation. Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna pull this video back up one more time because now that we've seen those, let's go back to the video and see what we think. I'm gonna just scrub it because this doesn't look like spores to me. Especially how it starts to the left of the tank.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get like a burst seems to get bigger. But then there's also like it almost like a separate entity to the far right now.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what this is. It's crazy that it's not a regular thing and that it picked it up. I mean, it's coming from like the ground of like, I don't know if this is a road right there or what. But
I think it's just your backyard, like it's just grass.
Right.
Yeah,
So what would burst all of a sudden right there?
Well, if you know, once again, just playing devil's advocate because I'm not ruling out paranormal, but like if a critter scurried across some fungus and they I sent you a link to the fungus release too, Dorian, if you want to compare it to that a little bit. And I'm just pulling these off YouTube. There's a ton of just different pollen releases and spore release videos that you can look at for comparison and contrasting. Of course, our brain wants to wrap around the more paranormal explanations because they bring, you know, a sort of spiritual depth and meaning to our the perception of our world in our realm here.
Right. Well, I think on some level that we know that we're being lied to about all kinds of shit. So like our minds are trying to figure out what's really going on because what they tell us is not the truth.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Talking about spore farts. And when I was a kid, we used to throw these things at each other and blow them up in each other's faces because it was funny.
One of my favorite things to come across in the woods are these puffball fungi. And they do something really cool if you hit them. That cloud is actually millions of spores. Here's it again, but in slow motion. To get those spores spread out, they rely on rain to hit them, or an animal to step on them, or some random guy making a TikTok. These are actually edible at an earlier stage when they're white throughout, but I've never eaten one myself. Now I need to go wash my hands.
Yeah, see, we used to throw them at each other and puff them in each other's faces. Oh, gosh, man. That's probably part of my problems. It fucked up my brain. too many puffballs up the nose, man.
Right.
That with the crushed Smarties that I was snorting. Not that I did it all. I didn't do it all the time. Good Lord. Anyways, okay, so we've gotten through some of that, and Charlie, who hasn't had a ghost in her house, is shitting on all the possibilities of this paranormal.
Shitting on him.
Just joking. So
what?
I don't know. It's just something funny all of a sudden. I have no idea what's going on. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just me. I think I'm just seeing fungal hallucinations from the days when I used to snort those sporous puffballs.
Actions have consequences, Dorian.
I feel like I'm seeing some shit behind you, but I don't know. Maybe it's not real. It's probably just the fungal spores that are still in my brain from when I was a child.
Yeah,
no doubt.
and I do like Lioness Roar's premature fungulation as a possibility. That is certainly going on. Oh my gosh! Yes, I mixed them all together too. Like I go hard. And then, so Lioness Roars, are you hearing me? Like, am I coming through clear? Because I think you're a little bit choppy. If we need to, we can drop you out and then have you come back in if you want to try that.
Yeah, I think I should probably try that because I'm missing and then it speeds up. Can you hear me pretty well or is it pretty bad?
This was all right, but it does seem like it's going in and out. And this is your first time on it, so it might be a technology thing. What browser are you using, real quick? All right, I'm just gonna kick you out, and then you come back in with a link. Let's do that. Okay, then.
Okay, bye.
I don't know what to do. That's what happens sometimes.
There's a huge delay.
And it is browser specific sometimes, yeah.
Yep. If you can hear me, Lioness roars, try Chrome. I know, it's evil, but all evil, okay? And it just so happens that it seems like there's a partnership with these companies, StreamYard and YouTube and Google and all this stuff. So anyways, try Chrome if you can, or just try coming back on. We'll see if it works together. Again, gongulation. Here we go. What did Biscuit say? Ghost for me and not for thee, Charlie.
Yeah, y'all are crazy.
I mean, Charlie's stance is likely what you'd probably get from Sabrina too if she was on it. She like talks about she always railing about how they're always telling ghost stories and whatnot in the news, but they won't talk about the technology that's being deployed into well, it has been for a long time, but now at a rapid speed, and it's obvious. I mean, the data centers and how fast AI is changing everything. But so we've gotten through those, and now we have one more picture that we wanted to share, and then I'll let Dirk kind of lead this one because I think this is your jam, right? The one, this boom, figure in the grass.
So I chalked this up to shadows because, you know, my blissful ignorance wasn't removed at that point. But when I first saw that figure in the middle there, the sun was at the base of the bushes there. And over the course of 2.5 hours, it stayed there as the shadow moved up. So,
I got nothing for that. That's amazing.
That ain't no fungal fart or fungal fungulation.
Was somebody out in the wild with some of their tech that we don't see, can't see, didn't know?
But that little gap in the shadow there stayed there for 3.5 hours.
That's crazy.
The other shadow came from across the grass and went up the bush there, but that stayed in that exact spot the whole time.
Wow.
That's what creeped me out.
No doubt.
And that's not even the story that we don't have proof of, because the only way that we could capture it was I visually saw the scratches down his arm. That wouldn't pick up on camera.
I think Biscuits nailed it. I think that's that's a ghost of a Bigfoot. You got a twofer. You got a Bigfoot and a ghost at the same time.
Yeah.
What's up, Deborah? Welcome. It's Mike in a ghillie suit.
Yeah, close.
That one is I don't know what to make of that. You said it stayed there for 3.5 hours and then just gone.
Because he was waiting for the deer. He was sitting in a blind waiting for deer.
Slam, wasn't the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, training in Canada, like in the woods for years?
They were in BC.
In BC.
That's like on the West Coast. We were
right, you're in the middle.
We're in farm country, so we're like, what the heck?
Uh-huh.
So this is in the bottom of a valley.
Yeah.
That stretches like kilometers or miles long. So this is just on the bottom of the valley. And yeah, the sun was starting to set, and I noticed that was still sitting there the whole time. So
yeah. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yeah, no doubt.
Dirk, did it ever change, like from when you first saw it to when you left, or did it just stay?
It stayed exactly the same.
Okay,
and you were piloerecting, right? You were like, your body was telling you like something's going on.
Yeah, something was weird. Yeah.
Right.
What I'm trying to figure out is, like, just dimensionally, is there just a gap in the sticks, the bushes? Is there just a gap there?
I don't know.
Because if it had changed it might be a little bit more provocative because without
That's
getting
what-
up close, it's hard to.
That's what I was going with initially. That's why it didn't bother me at first. But if you notice how the sun and the shade change,
yeah,
the darkness doesn't change from in the sun to the shadow side.
It looks like the darkness seems to be even though a gap in the sticks that's shaped like a head and torso, the shoulder. So it looks like there's just sort of an absence of bush in that area, for lack of a better term.
It's an absence.
Booma, don't.
Yeah, I still want to know what happened when you fired a couple rounds at it. As business is
I don't
saying
think
here.
you did.
I never did. My son was off slightly to the left by about 30 meters from that spot. So I really didn't want to put a shot into the bushes just beside him.
No.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
But yeah, I
just was asking. Man, dude, I don't know what to make of that one.
So the other one is before we found the house that we're currently living in now, when we were house hunting, we went, again, this is in that valley. So this is in a totally different area of the valley, but in that same valley or crest that stretches across Saskatchewan. We were in a home and we were checking out this house, and we're like, we brought up the whole family. Like, I'm talking all 7 of us were there, and we're all walking around this house. We go down into the basement, and all of a sudden he's like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. And we're all like, what? And we all just kind of got out of the house, and we didn't say anything to the real estate agent as we were standing there. And we talked to him. We're like, yeah, this isn't the house for us. And I'm looking at my husband going, what the heck was that all about? And then we get into the vehicle, and he rolls up his sleeve, and there's literally gashes down his arm in red all the way, like something had scratched him.
3 long red marks down my shoulder.
And so I pulled out my phone to try and take a picture, and they would not appear on a camera. But I could physically see them, and I was like, what the heck was that? He says something was down there. I don't know what it was, but it like, just get out.
That's a trip. He was on steroids when we were in there.
Yeah.
So you couldn't take a picture. How long ago was this? Like, you couldn't take a video, or like no one else? Was anybody else?
A couple years ago.
This was a couple years ago, but this was minutes after. I could still physically see them. Like, I would say not even 2 to 5 minutes after leaving the building, sitting in the car. And it was right directly after that. You could see the scratch marks. But when I literally took my phone and I would like look at it on the phone, and there would be no marks on his arm, but then I'd go like this and I could see the marks on his arm. And I'm literally going, what the fuck? It won't show up on the picture.
Weird. But no one else was there to witness it?
Well, my kids were. My kids could see it.
You saw it? And it won't show up on the picture.
No.
See, that kind of creepy shit too when it happens. That's like that mirror stuff where you see something in the mirror, but you can't get a picture of it.
Right.
So
I don't know if it was the camera's AI features blocking shit out, or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But that was the weirdest one.
Gotcha. What's up, Sabrina? Sabrina in the house. Yeah, some of the stuff, like we were saying, is just hard to like decide. Like, I mean, not that you would ever really know, but that's what we're trying to do, is figure it out. The human imagination is very powerful, can come up with all kinds of things. That's what happens in the conspiracy space. A lot of it's sparked by extremists, but when you have the personal experience, it is like something that sticks with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and there's a few things that my kids have had happen that I just can't explain. So like in our couple houses before, when our children were very little, all of our kids slept upstairs. We used to sleep downstairs in the basement. And I swear to God, somebody would get up and run to the bathroom. And I'm just like, who the fuck is running around upstairs? And so I'd go upstairs and everybody would be out like a light. And I'm like, what the hell? And you could hear it thump, 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 thump down the hallway, thump, 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 thump back. And I'm like, who's running? So finally I sat at the kitchen table with the kids one morning and I'm like, Who's running to the bathroom? Who's getting up? Does anybody know who's getting up in the bed and running to the bathroom? And all of a sudden, I think Evan might have been 3 years old, 3 or 4. He was enough to hold a verbal conversation. He goes, Mom, that's just the old man. He walks up and down the hallway.
He checks in on us.
He checks in on us every night. And I was just like, oh, okay. And he goes, but he's a good guy. It's okay.
He's nice. He doesn't do
He's
anything.
nice. He doesn't do anything. And I was like, what do you say to a child who's like, that's just the ghost. It's okay, Mom. Don't worry about it.
Kids are more likely to talk about this stuff or
Yeah.
see and witness these things. And I feel like the entities, whatever they are, or the technology being used, is aware of that stuff. Because like some of my experiences happened while I was high or on shrooms or whatever. And I don't know if you're peering into another dimension or another world, or if your mind's being opened up to things that you can't see with a sober brain or whatever. I know our brains have certain things like DMT and things in it. So when you have like a very fearful or near-death experience, or you do die, there's DMT that could be released. So then you come back and you have some kind of crazy supernatural experience. But some of the stuff that I experienced in that state makes you wonder like what you're peering into. And then there's a lot of I never did DMT, but a lot of people talk about when you do DMT and it doesn't last super long, but a lot of people experience the serpent god. Why consistently do people that take DMT experience the serpent god?
See, and I do wonder if there's a dimension that we can't see.
Right.
Like if it's like phases that we visit, because we can only see such a tiny fraction of our current environment, that if there isn't other entities walking around on the planet that we just literally can't see. Right. And so it makes you wonder that if there is some of that out there, that, you know, why are we able to, and because they're playing around with things, maybe is that why we're able to see it better now?
Right.
And the serpent is so prevalent in like cross-cultural mythology.
Yeah.
And biblical references, of course.
Yeah, it always is.
Right.
So it's like, but why?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously there's been a reverence and an innate intuitive sort of understanding of, whether it's an omen or ominous or a threat or kundalini,
Right.
all kinds of
They all
uses.
do all that. Yeah. So the other really weird, and again, is this gifts? Is this what us being connected to the universe being? My son, I think this is the incident where the dog. So we used to have this dog back when our oldest was probably about 4 or 5 years old, and I was pregnant with my middle son. So I guess maybe he was 3, and there was just we had just moved into a house. There was so much going on. So I'm like, Mom, can you hang on to the dog for me until I get the baby, the first few weeks of having the baby, and then I'll bring him back home. I'm a little overwhelmed, right? Well, this dog ran away from my mom's acreage because she was out on an acreage, and he was never to be found. We reported him. We had him registered. We couldn't find him. Nothing. I want to say how many years later?
7 years.
7 years later, my son's sitting at the kitchen table, and no word of a lie, he's like, Mom, I really wonder whatever happened to that Rusty dog. And his name was Rusty. And how many days later was it that you
3
got?
days.
3 days later, he gets a phone call from the Humane Society.
Hey, did you ever have this dog? We have it in the shelter right now. So it ran away from my mom about 40 miles north of us. They found it at a farm about 45 to 50 miles south of us.
So we don't know how.
To be fair, it is a husky, so he
Yeah.
probably got out and just ran and ran and ran. But
Yeah.
yeah, they found him about 90 miles away from where we lost him.
But it was weird that my son had said, hey, what happened to that dog? And then 3 days later, we get a phone call. Hey, we found the dog.
Right.
What?
Well, so just in this short amount of time that we've talked about this, if Slam and Dirk ever invite me to their house, the answer is no. I'm good. I don't need to go and visit with you guys because you guys got some weird shit going on. No matter what it really is, it's some real crazy shit.
Yeah. And so I've never shut down my kids' sense of their intuition. I've never really told them, no, what you're thinking is wrong. That very same son of ours who had the incident with the dog, our oldest, he actually had said, so we unfortunately had a nephew pass away due to unaliving himself. And we had never said how the means, we just told our son, I think Alex was like 7 years old. And we just said, hey, you know, big Alex is no longer with us. Something happened. And we were just trying to explain to him, to a 7-year-old's mind, as to what had happened. And he turns and he looks at us. He goes, oh, that's okay. I know he committed, you know, and he said it. And we were like, where did you hear that? Like, I was just like so perplexed that he had said that word, because we had never said it in front of him. And we had never told him how or what had happened. He goes, oh, yeah. And he completely described how he had passed. And I was like, what? He goes, well, he came to me and he told me I'd be okay. And I was like, okay. Like, what do you say
to that shit?
What do you say to a child who says, no, my cousin who has the same name as me came to me and told me I'd be okay?
Came to him when he was sleeping.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we had not told him what happened, how it happened, because we weren't going to tell a 7-year-old that descriptive detail, right? But he knew it, and we didn't even tell him. So we were just like mind blown. Intuition. He just knew.
Yeah.
So how do you explain, like, that's the stuff, like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, I don't know how to explain that. All I say is, again, no, I'm not visiting your house.
Right?
Until we figure this shit out. Which I don't
got
know.
some paranormal children, and
I also don't want to cross the Canadian border because they'll definitely cavity search me for my Booma beads.
Yeah.
Right?
Those bastards.
You might not make it back.
You might not make it back.
Evan, where's your background I gave you? I gave you like multiple to choose from. I'm disappointed.
It wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me choose them this time. I don't know why, because you did the same way.
That makes me sad. Okay, let's hear what Biscuits has to say. Based on my own experience, most haunting and poltergeist activity is attributable almost entirely to feds and intel types infiltrating your property and moving your shit around.
Spooks.
Hey, there could be aspects of that. I mean, like, to go out into a random place though, where there's an animal camera, and there's a lot of them now placed by various people.
Trail cams.
I don't know what to say about that. Some of the stuff with the dog and the old man, when that kind of stuff happens, I'm like, I got no answer there for that.
Right.
Now, are young minds more susceptible to neural nudging or hallucinations caused by a technology or something? Maybe, but I think everybody's susceptible to that in this world.
We know with the children's skulls, they're not fully formed, so that's why having cell phones put up to your head when you're a kid it heats up the brain a lot more than it would next to an adult head, which would insulate due to the bone density of the skull being more formed.
Man, oh man, I'm glad I kept the landline till the kids were in their teens.
Good girl.
They weren't allowed cell phones. My kids weren't allowed cell phones, so like, yeah, no.
But not just cell phones. I'm talking about. I mean, the kids are receptive to not just Wi-Fi, but like spiritual solar activity. They're going to pick up on it more because their pumpkin isn't quite as domed yet.
Right, and they have no filter, so they're going to tell you exactly what they see. So when they said that they seen it, I didn't question it. I just was like, oh, okay, tell me more. Like, what else did you see? Because I didn't want to stifle if there is gifts or being able to be sensitive to that stuff, because to me, I want them to be able to, foster that.
Absolutely. Intuition, just like, yes, you never get them to trust their instincts,
Whereas I have, and so my kids do trust their instincts, and when they don't have, like, I that's where I was grateful that my kids have had that experience to be able to have that in trust. When the whole COVID situation was going down, my 11-year-old, he was in grade 8 at the time because they went to school young, but he came home and he's like, Mom, something's not right. Something's not right. And I'm just like, what? He goes, yeah, my teachers told me I could go get injected without your permission. Like, I can't get a tattoo. I can't do this. I can't do that. And he's listing all these things that he's not old enough to do without parental permission. He's like, what makes you think I know anything about my medical history? And he was mad. And I was like, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for thinking. Thank you for critically thinking.
Yes.
My daughter had a similar response to when she turned 13 and they started asking her, you know, about certain things. She was the same way. She's like, I don't want to be responsible for these decisions. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad we fostered that trust of letting them explain their experiences and listening and not saying, oh, no, you're just being silly.
Right. Or it didn't there. I had something similar with my daughter when she's like 3.
Yeah.
She told me his name and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just at first I was going, but I had my own experiences in that house too. So it was like, okay. I said, well, is he nice? And she's like, oh yeah, he's okay. And I said, okay, cool. Tell him I said, what's up? And then I just went on doing whatever it was that I was doing.
This comment is so poignant. Like, how are you going to know when they can't feel that neural nudging anymore?
Yeah.
Or just discern whether or not it's neural nudging or something else.
Yeah,
exactly.
It could be the EMF, the fungal, like nothing targeted necessarily, but just the reality of the shit that we deal with now on a daily basis with everything that we talked about, especially in the mycelial networking.
Yeah.
3-part series that was brilliantly done with Charlie and the stuff that she pointed out. Some of that stuff is a factor as well. But yes, as kids, like they're more open or more susceptible to various things. So I don't know if they're being messed with or if they're more open to the paranormal world, like the different dimensions. There's a lot of like, it depends on the culture you come from. Our cultures have changed quite a bit, become technology reliant, where we can't tell the time of the day without our technology. Like they used to use like the stars to navigate. They used to use various things. But the Native Americans had a lot of spirit animals and the spirit guides and spoke to the spirits and did a lot of dancing and stuff where they felt they were being led, like their tribes were being told where to go, and they were having seances and coming up with life-altering or tribal-altering decisions based on the seasons and where they needed to go and what they needed to do to take care of their people. It's like, what were they doing? What were they tapping into? Because they were open to that stuff, and we tend to look at that stuff and think that's like third world, like not even third world. That's Aborigine freaking tribal nonsense now, because we're so sophisticated.
But how many mushrooms were they eating that might have been causing hallucinations?
Yeah, well, they might have been a little peyote just to take the edge off, just hanging out, fucking hit that peyote and other
even whether
various
or not,
but.
Even if it wasn't deliberate, even if it was just a season where there were spores being released, and that influenced the tribal members to be able to sort of widen or broaden their perception of something. I don't know.
Oh.
It's like a group hallucination due to the fungal spore release in that part of where they were living potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Oh.
And like I said, I'm definitely very open to exploring other ideas of, was it spores? Was it this? Are we seeing extra dimensions? Are we seeing, is it them doing their tech where they're hidden and then we're now starting to see them because of how much they're changing with sound, with the electromagnetics, with everything else. Are we now able to see some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sabrina says, giving us back our own innate capacities. And it's Dorian, what you said about discernment, I think that's one of the most predominant things we're going to have to face now. Not only do we have to have like spiritual discernment, but test every spirit, but we have to ask even more questions about what's influencing our perception and our judgment. So discernment is so fundamental. And how do we properly discern things? Well, first you have to be out of fear, right? You've got to be in a place of balance, no stake in the outcome, and hopefully of sober mind, and you know, as uninfluenced as possible by these different elements that are futzing with our ability to perceive objective reality correctly.
So, has anybody here lived in or been to Alaska? Now, I don't know what they got going up there. I think they have a harp thing going on up in Alaska, but Alaska is the largest freaking, I mean, Texas is big, but when I went to Alaska, they always have shirts where they show Texas, the size of it inside Alaska, because Alaska is a bigger everything. And Alaska really is fucking massive. You go there in the mountains. Like, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and I saw the Rockies, and they were big. But you go to Alaska, and you see these mountains, and you're like, holy crap. I feel like I'm living in a painting. I saw glacial water running through like a river, and it was aqua blue, and it looked like I was staring at it, I'm like, I've never seen anything like it. Where I'm going with this though is that it's like out away from so much civilization. In a lot of places it's literally like you go to a park here and you're in a parking lot and you're fighting to get a good spot. You go to Alaska and you sing songs as you walk through the forest to let the bears know you're there, because there ain't no one around to save your ass in a lot of places. So, and it gets cold as fuck, and it'd be like, and so maybe fear plays into it to a degree, but there's a lot of experiences that happen when it has that part of the season where it's like 3 months of darkness. Ain't no fungal shit going on there. So I don't know what's happening, but there's all kinds of experiences that happen during that time.
Yeah, like we definitely, as a family, we disconnect and we go up to the northern part of Saskatchewan where there is no Wi-Fi, there is no connection, there is nothing, and we take our solar and we disconnect because then they can't reach us. And it's bear country. We're taking our crossbows and our our bows and our bear bangers and our and we've had some encounters with some bears up in northern Saskatchewan.
What's a bear banger? What's a bear banger?
It's almost like a mini firecracker that you can set off, where it shoots up a flare, or it'll shoot up it'll make a loud bang, almost like a firearm, so that it scares them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I could go get one to show you if you really want.
We're not setting one off in the house.
No.
We already did that once, and we didn't like that.
Well, does it just look like a big
I was just going to say,
firecracker or
not
something?
again, huh?
So
No, we're not letting one off again.
Well, we had a kid who didn't come up with us to the camping thing, and he was like 19 years old or 18 years old, and he didn't know what a bear banger was, and he found it on the coffee table, and he's like, "What the heck?" And boom, he set it off in the house, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch!"
There's no bears here.
There's no bears.
Well, a bear came down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Not anymore.
No more bears in our house, but
That wasn't fun to wake up to, I tell you.
no, he was sleeping and he woke up to
Oh my
the bear
gosh.
banger going off. And before I even got a chance to say, "Don't touch it, it's a bear," boom.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That'll get you going. Bear banger.
But they are. They're like a more intense firecracker.
That sounds like it. All right. Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. Oh, Mac. Okay. Just real quick on another thing. Mac that joined us. I think he joined the last 2 sessions, but at least the last session, right? He had the food truck. They launched their food truck and sold out the first day.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
awesome. Congratulations, Mac, if you're listening.
Mandy.
He was thinking about coming on, but he's so tired after his shift of working this thing. But it's a success.
Good for him.
So yes, I'm really stoked for him and his wife and that little food truck they got going on. That's awesome to hear. So Mac, congratulations, and I hope it continues to prosper for you. And look forward to hearing more about it when you have some energy, because I think you're going to be busy for a while. So good news. Yes, go Mac. Exactly. Let's support the people that are in our tribe, if you will, our tribe that does not believe in ghosts because we believe it's all fungus and EMF. Right, Charlie? The one that has ghosts in her house that we've seen now on tape. It's on there. We got it.
You guys are seeing shit.
All our perception are off, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Turn off your Wi-Fi, you guys.
Right.
So that we can't watch it at all.
Wi-Fi hallucinations. And then there's some people in the chat, yes, that are talking about, fear plays into it. Absolutely. The movies, when I was a kid watching all those horror movies, I don't watch them anymore, but they got intense. So there's the horror movies that probably had witches doing seances over it. And then you heard the stories of people like actually dying on the sets of some of these old horror movies. We've brought up the movie Nefarious. So there's the talk about whether or not it's demonic activity, spiritual realm that's being experienced, and demons fucking with us in ways or whatnot. But the movie Nefarious, some B-level acting, except the main character I thought did really well in a way that I hope he had the armor of God on, because the script that he talked about was pretty intense in the sense that it said, like, we can't just possess somebody. It has to be a series of yeses. And so he goes through what sounds like a pretty logical way to think about whether or not a negative entity could attach itself to you or become part of your life. Now, maybe it comes through a person's lineage as well. There's those ties that happen with things that happen from your bloodline. Sure. But in this, it's like, it's a series of yeses. It's your grandma giving you a Ouija board and you playing with that. It's you saying yes to a scary movie. But now you got this stuff that's possibly in the tech. Demonic usage of the technology in a way, and like, I don't want to give it too much power in the sense of like putting it out there as if it's something to be fearful of. Don't be fearful of it, but it's something to at least think about, that they have this new ability. Like when I think of Satan, regardless if you're a believer or not, an entity that is evil and has the only an ability to be in one place at one time. Well, now with the internet, whoever's in control of that, whatever's in control of that, has the ability to be as many places as fucking possible. Now you got satellites. You can pretty much be anywhere whenever you want. So what could they be doing to us to fuck with us and constantly? Because there's stories of what was it called? Something in LA. I can't remember, but it was radio. I think it was just radios were only available at the time. And it was like what the news tried to spin as a mass hallucination of a giant spaceship over them. So you have, and I know that gets into the alien stuff, but you have these like mass experiences where people experience this stuff, whether it's Bigfoot, ghosts, and they're experiencing the same thing. So that's where it gets a little bit like, oh my gosh, because people. So here, I'll tell one of my stories. So the guys that I went to college with, and some of them I grew up with, but then there was another guy from California. Anyways, they lived at a house after college. And I went and visited them in Spokane, Washington, and they were living up by the garden that's there. If anybody knows about the Rose Garden in Spokane, it is pretty amazing. But they lived like right near it in an old house that had an oil furnace or whatever, where the heating source, like you had to fill it up with oil, and like they went without oil for so long because, and these are guys that were assholes, friendly in the sense that I grew up with them so we could kick it sometimes, but overall they assholes, and they would shit on anything, and they didn't believe hardly in nothing. You never talked about anything like that, like aliens or ghosts or any of that kind of shit. And I went over there and I'm like, dude, it's like, it's freaking freezing in here, guys. Like, what are we doing? And they're like, yeah, well, we ain't going, like, the only way to do anything is to put oil in down below, and we ain't going in the basement because there's a fucking ghost in there. And I'm all like, we're all fucking high and half drunk at this point. And I'm like, fuck you motherfuckers. Ain't none of that shit going on in here. And like, they look at me like, all right, you go down there. I was like, so you guys are being serious. And I'm looking at their faces, and they dead serious. They dead serious. They would go down there like the three of them, and they would watch each other, and one of them would place a chair and sit it up, and then they'd go fucking back upstairs, and eventually they'd fucking like flash a flashlight down there, and that chair would be fucking knocked over. And the ghost was not happy, and it did not want him down there. And so like they weren't gonna go put anything in there or make that thing work. they would call somebody to do it every once in a while, but it cost a lot of money. So there was that aspect of it too, but they weren't fucking with that shit. And these are people that would not entertain this at all. And they were convinced there was a ghost in their basement. So you have stories like this of people that wouldn't normally, you would think, talk about anything like this, having these experiences they don't want to talk about because it scares the shit out of them. It was the same thing when I met. So my ex-wife's father claimed to have seen Bigfoot. And when he told the story, regardless of what he experienced or saw, you could tell it scared the shit out of him. Him and 2 other guys that were hunting in Alaska. That's why I had experience up in Alaska. I'm up in Alaska listening to him tell the story about how he saw Bigfoot. He didn't want to tell it. It was that people were around him were encouraging him to tell me about it because one, it's like, you know, is anybody going to believe it? And I'm open to stuff. I'll listen to anybody. I can chat with anybody about anything, whether I believe it or not. I'll hear a person out. And I'm looking at this guy's face, and he's usually got like a red face, bit of an alcoholic, you know, which is what I was all about back then. But it went stark white. And he started like mumbling his word a little bit. And then he was like, that's all I'm going to say. But he claimed he literally saw Bigfoot and it scared the fuck out of him. Like he didn't want to go out in the woods very much. And this was a guy that's like avid hunter, more of a fisherman. He'd still go out in his boat off the Homer pier and go halibut fishing and all that kind of stuff. But going out in the woods after that, it took him a while to get back out there. So what are people experiencing, man? I don't know.
Didn't you say he was like shaking?
Yeah, he was
like
absolutely reliving the experience as he told me. And he was shaky and his face, like he had the rosy red cheeks and stuff like that, like from drinking a lot. And then that was just kind of his skin tone or whatever. But I think most of it is because like a lot of alcoholics up in Alaska. And he was a great guy. Nothing, I don't have anything bad to say about him. Regardless of what happened between me and his daughter, but when he retold that, his face went stark white and he was shaking and mumbling, and then he told most of the story, but then he was done. He didn't want to talk about it anymore, and I never asked him again because I could tell. You can feel the energy when someone's telling you, regardless of what you think about it. It was so real to them that you will never like challenge them on it. So like with these situations with Slam and Dirk and some of the stories that people have, like I can't say whatever, something happened, something is going on. We don't know.
And we all like seem to really earnestly want to know what that is. No one here is invested per se, just by the nature of this community, in something being a particular outcome, right? Like we're open to receiving the truth, whatever it is. We ain't scared, right?
Right.
You know, we want to know.
Right. And then, I mean, it's been brought up. Slam talked about it. Sabrina was putting some input into the chat about how we can only see so much of the light spectrum. Our eyes are like not in tune, like many of the animals are. Animals seem to react to various things that we don't see, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are they just acting crazy? Are they actually witnessing something, whether it's a wolf, dog, or a cat, or an animal outside that seems to be acting strange about something that doesn't seem to really be there? It's like, what is really going on? Because we know that there's more going on than we can perceive. Yeah. And our piloerection, our biofields that we didn't maybe know we have, now we're getting more in tune with them. But now when you think back on some of the experiences, it's like, yeah. And that's why you even see it in the movies. You see like the hair stand on the back of the neck or whatever. It's been publicized or shown and depicted about what happens. What's up, Linda? Good to see you. It's been happening. Mythic Lion in the house. I was camping with a girl once, and we had this full soundscape of people and animals around, even though it was just us and still silent otherwise. We both heard the same things like another time. Right? And people have these experiences together, and it's when one person has it, you can discount them pretty easily. But when it's like a mass thing, it's like most psychologists and people that would talk about it would say it's a mass hallucination. But those people that experienced it, they experienced something. Even if it was a manipulation of their neurons, or it was a Project Bluebeam type technology that made them see a 3D hologram of some sort, something like that going on, very well could be, but something's going on.
Something affected their nervous system.
Right. Lioness Roars, can you hear us better now? Did anything improve when you came in, back in?
I think it improved a little bit. It's still a little glitchy, but
A little laggy?
delayed.
Yes.
Little laggy, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to jump in.
So it's hard to jump in, but I
Right.
did have a story.
Go for it.
Okay. So I was living in a 200-year-old farmhouse with a spring in the basement. And all of a sudden in the morning, there were handprints on the windows. And I'd clean the windows frantically. And then the next day, these handprints would be back. So I was like, this is really weird. And then I was at my dining room table in a sort of meditative state while I was designing the house we were building. And I felt this hot breath whisper in my ear, Mom, Mom. And there was nobody there. So
did you have a child that passed
I would like
away?
to know if that was tech or no, but the interesting thing was the elderly gentleman that grew up in the house to the stairs and the railing. I just had this idea one day, like, this doesn't look right. I need to do this. And so I repainted everything, and it took some time. But he showed a picture of his younger brother and sister that were twins sitting on the steps. And I had painted the steps exactly how it was in the picture.
Wow.
Wow.
Boy, is it delayed.
It is delayed, and it'll be a little bit of a challenge, but I want to know, were the size of the handprints, if you can hear me, were they adult size or child size?
I missed what you said. I'm so sorry.
I'll type it in the private chat if you can open that up.
Okay. And then I had another story about I was doing tapping for emotional freedom technique, and my dad was taking a video that I didn't know, and a week later he said, you have to see this video, you have to see it. So I went over to his house and I'm looking at it, and there were these white balls of light dancing all across the room, like 8 or 10 of them. And I had a candle sitting there, and one of them went through the candle. It went to my throat chakra, and I had a healing that is unexplainable. I was getting like PTSD, and it was awful, and I was set free. So I don't know if that was guardian angels or if they can make some kind of tech that does that. I have no idea, but it's really wild.
That is wild. A lot of people see the orbs. I've seen them videos. I've seen them.
Oh, the handprints were child.
Okay, so they were child. Okay, the handprints were child, and then you heard somebody in your ear and a warm breath saying, Mom, Mom. Correct?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's pretty creepy. And this is where we go to
And I wasn't brave enough to ask. Okay.
No, if you want to continue,
go ahead. She can go ahead.
A little still detail.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
You got any
I wasn't brave. I wasn't brave enough to ask the elderly gentleman if anyone on the farm of the children had died, but I regret that now. I wish I would have asked him.
Sometimes more answers just lead to more questions, though. But man, that is wild. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
Mike, do you have a ghost story or something that happened to you that's paranormal that you want to share?
Yeah, I don't know if it was paranormal, but it wasn't normal. Nothing I see every day, but so I got a friend that I've known since middle school, and growing up, he lived out in East Troy, so he lived off the channel off of Lake Beulah. So it was cool. We were always, like, his dad was hardly ever around. So bonfires and ice fishing and whatever you want to do. And it was one of my other friends on one couch and me on the other. And I just remember waking up and I seen, I don't know, the Benadryl hat guy, but I wasn't taking no Benadryl. I never took that in my life. So just shit like that. I could clearly see him standing off in the corner. I'm like, okay. And like, there was enough light in there to where it was a black silhouette. Like that picture in that y'all posted where it didn't move. It was the same thing. And I was just, I don't know. I kind of, all right. And I shook my head a couple times. Yeah. I didn't see, it didn't have a face to it though. It was just an all black silhouette. But yeah, with that hat. Yeah. Or something like that. Is as close as I can get to it. Because I saw it later on. I'm like, oh, that's the same shit I saw. Ain't that interesting?
Wait, and you weren't high or anything at the time?
I mean, I cannot confirm nor deny, but I didn't take any Benadryl, that's for sure. Because isn't that what
so it happened when people were taking Benadryl.
I mean, that's what the thing is, isn't it? That's what I always heard.
That's what it said. Wait, hold on. That's what it said, is that people see the happen when they take Benadryl specifically.
So that's what I thought, something like that. But maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But I've never taken that.
Whoa, I never heard of this guy.
Nope.
Aaron Rodgers talked about him, the Hat Man, I think it's called. Just like in the Waukesha, they had the two girls, Slender Man, that whole thing.
So I have experience I'll share about Slender Man, because I don't know if it was Slender Man, but when I found out, it became a thing later when I was already past college, that more people started talking about Slender Man. But that's what I experienced when I was younger, I think, in a kind of half dream state / awake state where you don't really know if you're asleep or not, and you're getting fucked with, kind of a thing. I had never heard of this Benadryl one, but one more time, was this what you saw? Because this would be pretty scary. Just joking. It just popped up on the screen. I was just having a funzie. I had never heard of this.
Interesting.
I have never heard of that either.
They said, did that say Benadryl challenge?
The Benadryl challenge. So yes, like, I mean, all kids especially, man, they turn everything into something stupid where it's like,
yeah, stupid challenges.
So a bunch of kids were probably hitting the Benadryl to try to see Benadryl Man because they didn't think it was real, and then they experienced it and shit like that. That was the same thing we used to do with red rum. Or if you said that, dark, looking in the mirror,
Bloody Mary. We used to do Bloody Mary.
Oh God, I was too scared to ever.
I never ever did it.
We did all of that. We did all kinds of crazy crap like that.
Right? You had your friend over, and you'd lock. Well, you wouldn't be able to lock them because they had the power on the inside. But you'd hold the door shut and turn off the light and tell them do it, and you'd try to get them to do that shit.
And then they'd start screaming.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not when you turn the light. It was like, it was a specific time too. It was like, because it kind of like, I think some of that though is just you get, because you're really impressionable as a child too, but you have such a good imagination that as soon as the lights go out, that's what you see. That's what I saw. I saw her. Okay. I'm telling you, I saw her in the mirror, you know, and it's like, but I don't know if it's just because I was very impressionable and you get this because you talk about it and all the stuff before you do it. And I just got that built up in my mind.
Right. Or just like when you take a drug, is your brain being opened up to a world that you don't normally see?
Right. Well, in that particular case, I was not doing drugs at that time. I mean, I would have been like
this would be the drug of
old.
fear that ties to DMT that's naturally in the brain. Every drug that you take stimulates more of what's already in our brain.
Okay.
When you start, you start learning that when you get into drugs more or whatnot, because it's interacting with certain receptors in your brain and overriding them with different neurotransmitters, some different things. Anyways, or killing brain cells like aerosols and stuff like that. In this case, the fear as kids, the fear is what is driving maybe either you're opening your mind to something and then being neurally nudged or demonically influenced, or inviting in a negative spirit that's showing you that because it wants to scare the shit out of you and do that to you. I don't know. Let's go to our fungal expert in Charlie. What do you make of? Did you have red rum and Bloody Mary and those things growing up?
I mean, yeah, I was more. I mean, Carl was just saying in the chat, Mothman, and that was kind of I liked the cryptozoological shit. I was obsessed with Mothman. I wanted to really understand before the movie came out that whole story. The book is so much more interesting than the movie. John Keel, the author of that. So anyways, that's where my head was at, trying to understand, you know, it felt to me like it was a Prince and the Power of the Air type vibe with electro sensitivity and all that stuff with all paranormal stuff on an intuitive level when I was younger. Not to once again detract from the paranormal nature of things, but how these fields and frequencies might be being hijacked by these entities. So that's kind of where my head's always been I've wanted to understand the HOW, I guess. So I wasn't really into the red rum type stuff because that was like, I don't know, it just felt campy. I wanted to understand, like,
how dare you downplay our horrors?
And yet, when I brought home a Ouija board as an 8-year-old,
fuck, when I was a kid,
I brought home a Ouija board I was given a Ouija board by a friend, and my parents flipped. They absolutely flipped out when I was given one. And we did mess around with it, and it freaked us right the heck out because we didn't know what the heck we were doing. And
it started moving when you were doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that happen, and I swear, like, my friend was doing it, and he swore I was doing it, and I was like, fuck it,
right.
But we actually saw the Ouija thing move without nobody touching it. So it freaked us right the heck out. So that's when we kind of like we were done. We were like, I like snapped the center of the Ouija board. I tried throwing it away, and then someone was like, no, you got to burn it. So we went back to the garbage can, which had nothing in it, by the way, and we couldn't find the Ouija board. It was gone. It was gone. And I'm like, what the heck did we do?
That's when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yep. We
couldn't find it. And we jumped. This was back in the day when they had the big bins in the back alley. We jumped in that bin and started pulling, and it was nowhere to be found.
My gosh.
Because we were all creeped out.
And oh, man, that's creepy. And then Mothman, there's a Mothman movie, right?
Yeah, with Richard Gere.
Is that any good? I don't remember if I watched it.
It was cool, but like it didn't cover the spectrum that it should have. What?
I swear I just saw a ghost leave your house. It's the strangest thing. I mean, I think I'm hallucinating, of course.
Maybe, you got Casper up in there.
Hopefully it's a friendly ghost. I'm gonna watch Mothman. I never got into that one, but so Lioness Roars was pointing out. Dean and I talked about this because some of the images that Dean found on Google Maps pointed at something similar to Slender Man, but a shadow man, I think is what they call him. And she said in the private chat, I remember Dean showing the shadow man on a video that we did, and he would show it on his channel. And it's something that they use to scare, I think, the children. And she's saying, I saw that figure in my dreams a couple of times. That's where I witnessed what I call the shadow man. When I saw Slender Man, it was similar, but I don't remember it necessarily being like super slender, but it definitely wasn't the width of like a human. It was humanoid because it had arms and hands and the head just like a human, but it was all dark, shadowy, nothing that you would make out. And then she says, my daughter and I saw a gargoyle up on a hillside while they were driving. Okay, that's scary shit too. But I would witness and over again, and it went from high school into college, where I would be so scared to fall asleep because every time I fell asleep, I would go into a dream state, but not realize I was dreaming. And so it was almost like I just opened my eyes laying in bed, and I would witness, in college, like my dorm room with a area where this thing would continuously come, and then it would come and it would always reach its hand and it would get like this close, and then I'd fucking wake up. Or it would be coming so slowly towards me that I would literally like be asleep and realizing I was asleep, and I'd be like, like my partner the girl that I was with would be like next to me, and she would wake up so that she could wake me up. I was literally moving my body and shaking and like making as much noise as I possibly could to wake up my girlfriend so that she would wake me up, because it was so fucked up. And you were pointing at Dirk.
Because he's had those dreams where I've had to be like, "Gay, are you okay?" Because he's like, yeah, he's talking and he's shaking and yeah, something's going on. And I'm like, hey, and he doesn't remember what happens in the dream though when he wakes up. That's the scary part.
Oh, you don't remember, Dirk?
I don't remember.
You might be kind of lucky that way, actually, because it's terrifying. Because
I remember my dreams.
For me, well, see, I don't remember my dreams very much anymore, but I'd said a specific prayer because I would have I'd have really strange dreams. Like I was looking through a VR headset. My house was exactly in order. My daughter would be exactly where I knew she would be. My room looked exactly the same. If it was messy, it'd be messy. If it was whatever. My surroundings were what they were. Like I was sleeping with my eyes open, but I knew I was dreaming. And I when I woke up, I'd literally go run and try and find my daughter to see like if it really was the same. And it was the same. Or I'd have dreams where I could feel a presence, or I could see something dark in the distance. Like I'd be in my bed and they'd be in the living room, and it was like getting closer to me, and I could feel its presence getting closer to me. And there were times where I'd be like, I know I was making, or like, nothing would come out. I couldn't move. And I'd cry out sometimes to God or Jesus, and sometimes it would stop, but then I'd go right back to sleep and it'd start again.
Yeah.
And then finally I just said a prayer, keep guardian angels in the four corners of my bed as I sleep. And I barely remember my dreams at all anymore since I did that. But they were vivid. Like I'd wake up sweating, crying, just like, because I mean, they were so real.
Yeah, mine are pretty vivid and pretty real, but mine aren't necessarily about me. I'm always somewhere else where there's some sort of natural disaster, some sort of something going on, whether it's a storm, a tornado, a fire, a mudslide, something, and I'm like gathering people, and I don't know why I keep having them. And I'm like saving people and pulling people out of burning buildings and like, yeah. And I'm
Do
like,
you have those dreams often?
Pardon?
Do you have them often?
When I was a kid, I used to have a very similar reoccurring dream that would happen over and over and over again, the same one. I haven't had them so much now that I'm older, but I used to have them a lot more vividly. And then all of a sudden, randomly, one will pop up, and I'm like, what the heck? Like,
but none of them came true. Like
No, like
They
I'm
weren't like
nowhere
visions
near.
that you happen later.
No, so like I'm nowhere near where we can even have like. There's nothing out here to have a forest fire. Like there's really, they're not even my city because I know that they're not my city because we're so flat, right? Like you could literally see shit coming for miles. But like this would be sometimes I'm up in the mountains, sometimes I'm up in, you know what I mean, and I'm in different cities and that I don't recognize. So I don't know if where I'm going or what I'm doing, but I'm calling people, and at the time it's like they're my family. So, but they're not my actual family. When I see them, do you know what I mean?
Right.
If that makes any sort of sense, but it's like I'm trying to get a hold of my family, or I'm trying to find my family, or I'm trying to say, you know, whoever it is that I'm trying to save. And they don't happen consecutively, consistently, if that makes sense. Like I'll have one and then I won't have one for a while, and then I'll have a dream and then I won't have one for a while. So it's like I really should start journaling my dreams so that I remember them better, because I can usually remember bits and pieces right when you wake up, but then by the time the end of the day, I'm like, I don't remember what I had a weird dream, but I'll remember what the heck it was all about.
Yeah, I try not to remember a lot of my dreams now. My dreams aren't as scary as they were when I was a kid, but they're just twisted and weird a lot of the times. Not horribly, but like just abstract. Where it's like, I don't understand, and I don't want to try to like dissect it or whatever most of the time. But when I was a kid, I would have such terrors that I would have my covers over my face where I would just have like this little area where I could breathe, and then like I would sweat and I wouldn't move. And I was so fucking scared, and it just makes you wonder. So like I would see that, you know, a reoccurring like shadow man or whatever, and so maybe it's demonic, maybe harvesting loosh, or it's fucking tech that they're using to put me in that state and harvesting my fucking energy.
And harvesting loosh.
Right. Harvest the same kind of concept in a different avenue, whatever you believe in, or however you want to look at it. Go ahead, Charlie.
Sorry. That was really rude of me. I'm really sorry.
So
I got all excited.
Oh my God.
I got all excited. Have you guys heard of PANDAS, pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric syndrome?
No.
Now, PANDAS, these are generally strep infections that affect certain children neurologically. So say, you know, you've got strep living in everyone's throat, but sometimes it gets overgrown. Well, the throat is really very close to the brainstem. So when the bacteria are releasing their endotoxins, like mold releases mycotoxins, that bacteria inflames the nerves in your brainstem and can cause neuropsychiatric syndromes. So a lot of times with children who are prone to this, they'll develop early onset OCD, just spontaneous, one day, just all of a sudden obsessive compulsive disorders, because their brain stems have been inflamed, and there's hallucinations, stuff like that.
Right.
It's a very interesting field of research. I'm compelled to believe that a lot of us have had issues with neuroinflammation as children, given the amount of children who are spectrum or neurodivergent now. I mean, we're pretty much all Gen Xers in here, right? You know, we got hit too. So to what degree is our perception being altered when we're children having these neuropsychiatric inflammatory events that generally just go undiagnosed? The kid just starts acting really ragey one day, or really scared and paranoid of everything all of a sudden. Generally triggered not only by trauma, psychological trauma, but sometimes neurological trauma that's triggered by, you know, the neurotoxic inflammation of the endotoxins.
Okay, so
just another thing to plug in. A lot of kids, they have like night terrors and things like that. Autistic kids and neurodivergent kids.
Ironically, one of mine is autistic and he's ADHD, and they've all, so that would make a lot more sense if their neurons, or are their neurons just hypersensitive that they're able to sense some of this shit, right?
I think probably both.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to give us superpowers, right?
Right.
So maybe as they're engineering us, sometimes those superpowers, have consequences neurologically too. So, but it doesn't mean, we've all seen the autistic children who are just genius musicians and genius mathematicians. And there are extrasensory, that's why they're always dealing with sensory processing disorders, because they're able to feel sometimes like they're like a live wire. They can pick up on everything like a bird.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think they're able to pick up on the sensory. It's like why some kids have sensory overload, where they're literally the touch of a fabric against their skin or a sound in the room. Literally, it's almost like amplifying a microphone into their brain, where they're hearing a whisper. You're whispering, but they're hearing a shouting in their head. And I used to work with kids with special needs because it's kind of what I wanted to do. Coming out of high school and working with kids with special needs, and then the God went, here you go, have a bunch of special needs, and I went, thanks.
Yep.
Careful what you wish for.
Careful what you wish for. So,
Right.
And I love all my kids, and I love my husband, and I love my life, but it's like, okay, now I get to experience it for real.
Wow.
It's touched everyone's community, the neurodiversity, and as parents, we're all trying to adjust to the new neural scape of our children's extrasensory and hypersensory issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes
go ahead. Real quick, Mike said he's going to take off. Brother, it's always great to have you on here. Thank you for, I only had to mute you. You have like a small harm or whatever, but if you want to unmute, yeah, man. I'm glad to have you on. And thanks
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for bringing the Benadryl man to my brain.
Hey, may the Hat Man visit you tonight. All in the corner and shit. Like, what the fuck?
I had not heard of that one though, man. I know. One. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers talked about it. If you want to look it up, he's on a live. One of them, whatever. I don't watch football anymore, but anyways.
Just I'd never heard of that either.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit out there, isn't there?
And he claimed to have witnessed Benadryl man himself.
Yeah. And if it's not Benadryl, I thought it was, or some shit like it. It's just like what is that? Not peyote, but salvia, shit like that.
I heard of that.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Bath salts
I got enough problems of my own already. But anyways, hey, thank y'all for having me. Have fun. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to y'all. All right.
All right, later, brother.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Take care.
Bye, Mike.
Bye.
Awesome. I like Mike. Good dude. And I had never heard of Benadryl man. That's freaking a trip.
Me neither.
Monica, we'll have to have you on when you can. If you got some stories, we want to hear them. That's what I like about this. Is just normal people having, real experiences, real chats, community chats, if you will. Where do you guys want to take it from here? Sorry, I kind of cut you off, Charlie. Go ahead and finish.
Yeah.
I'm so rude. I'm so fucking rude.
How dare you?
But you're absolutely right. Maybe it's the reason why they're picking up on all this extrasensory things and the way that they're seeing things is because they've been already augmenting our children to be able to connect to this a heck of a lot easier, right?
It makes sense. It's going to be like a rocky start as they're hooking us into these systems. Some of us will genetically be more sensitive to the adjustments and might become oversensitive too quickly. I think that's kind of what potentially happened with, the early vaccination programs, the polio, the vaccinations that preceded the polio epidemic that kicked everyone's, nervous systems into a new state of being, some of which became a very noticeable palsy. With COVID vaccines, we're seeing, Bell's palsy, and things not quite as, obvious and overt, more difficult to connect as causative factors to a vaccination program.
But are they doing that on purpose so that they can't blame it on the vaccine, so they can't, stop
so
it
many
from
layers,
or the injection or whatever you want to call it? Yeah,
they have to have a cover story. If they're doing something nefarious and they don't want people to know, then they're going to have a backup plan. Like a explanation.
Yeah,
for these things.
And I mean, my kids were definitely, the routine and vaccinations for what were okay at the time. Once the new ones, like, have they ever gotten all their flu shots? No. We have stayed away from flu shots. We've stayed away from all the extras. We've gotten them their basics, but like here in Saskatchewan, it's not a requirement to have your kids vaccinated in order for them to go to school. They'd like you to have them done, but they can't legally say you have to have this or you can't go, which is why it was really put off and really strange when they forced the COVID one, because it was like, if you don't require nurses to only require the flu shot for working with their jobs and they can get antibody testing for all the others, why can't you test our antibodies for this one?
Because it was new.
Right. And so it's like, and that's why, our family we just went, how about we don't? And let's just wait. Let's wait and see.
Well, they tell me when I go in that I'm overdue for all these things, and they'll tell me it's required. They'll use that verbiage, but then when I start asking about, it's like, well, no, I mean, you don't have to get it. I go, well, then why do you keep saying it's required and I'm past due?
Yeah.
They don't have an answer for me, but
and our doctor wouldn't push any of that, which I'm grateful for. And unfortunately, I just lost my doctor, so I'm really worried about the next new doctors that I'm going to get. But
yeah.
And I mean, we don't have our children on any of the standard ADHD medications because I did everything that we could do with their diet, with their environment, with their, to make sure that they were not needing this to function.
Well, I do know that they've changed some, I don't know if it's law or what as of yet, but they're changing it so that if you don't get certain ones, like for your children, you don't have them take them or whatever, that would be considered child abuse.
Yeah, that's in the States. They haven't been able to do that here because each province has its own, like, I don't know about you guys with the States, but each of our provinces or our states, we are in charge of our own healthcare.
I'm not sure exactly. I know that each state is different in terms of even insurance wide, what they'll cover and what they won't and things like that. But I'm not sure. I suppose it would be similar to that though, because I think it's different ages in different states when they can be responsible for themselves. I know here it's 13, but I don't know if that's the case across the United States.
It's 12 here. They've literally put all of their medical records online, and then they said, oh, but you can't see it if they're over the age of 12.
Right. Well, my daughter had to sign something that gave me permission.
I just had my kids get a photo ID and I logged in anyway. What are you going to do?
Well, that's the thing. She can't. So for the what do they call it? The My Chart or whatever. When you go into My Chart, So I can access all of that, and I still could have even if she wasn't 18 because she can't make her own appointments. She can't access some of that stuff herself, but yet she's responsible. It's really strange how they have it set up.
It is. And when they tried to force the whole Vaxi Pass or whatever, the QR code thing to scan or whatever, I mean, I just was curious to log into my kids' eHealth just to see what it was, where was this thing located? And that's when I discovered that I could log into my younger children who were 11, but I couldn't get into my older 2 children who were 12 and older. And so that's when it was really confusing. Now it was easy because my oldest was 16 and had his driver's license, and we could connect his eHealth because you needed photo ID in order to even log in.
See, that's where they get them.
Yeah. You're forced to use these systems, but you have to get this ID to get it, and you have to, and then, yeah.
In order to use it, you have to do these certain things. So it's they that's their loophole. That's how they get it. They get away with it. Because they're saying, well, you don't have to. But if you want to, you have to do this. Well, it's not really a choice.
Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if some of these power outages, we've had them here in central Missouri, are due to the data centers. And I'm wondering if there'll be more paranormal activity with all the data centers that are going up.
Right.
Well, if it's based off of the frequencies, and then we're putting more frequencies out there, just in general,
it's then changing everything, right? Especially here in the United States.
Right. It's for people who are maybe more sensitive than others, I guess, may see more, or I don't know. I don't really know.
That's part of the reason why I moved out of the city, because I didn't want to be there. They're planning on putting one in the city that's 20 minutes to the west of us, and then they're actually trying. And I don't know where the one out by to the east of us. Oh, sorry, I know the one on the east. It's going outside the east of Regina, but the one over in Moose Jaw, I don't know where it's being placed, or they're trying to fight back against it. But we're essentially going to be between 2 major. One is a Bell AI center, and I don't know what the one by Moose Jaw is. But our premier went and wiped our council and put in a bunch of people and got it all approved before anybody could vote against it. And it never went to a referendum. Same thing that happened in that one state. They just said it's happening.
Well, I mean, you know what? We've had things here where we're supposed to vote them in, and we know everybody voted against it, and they do it anyway. There's been multiple times when they do that shit.
Yeah.
I had never heard of this one, but Stack Brawley, I guess, experienced it when she was younger. But Alice in Wonderland Syndrome is a rare neurological condition that this is what they say. Disrupts how your brain processes sensory input, causing surreal distortions in vision, body perception, and time. Makes you feel like you're either large or tiny, apparently. That's fucking scary.
And what's that doing? It's altering your perception, right? Yeah. And in this case of space and spatiotemporal stuff. But you can have other parts of your brain affected too. But this one particularly is centered in that region of the brain that would alter your perception of your space and yourself.
Well, does anybody else find it really fascinating that in Alice in Wonderland, what did she eat to make her big and small?
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
There you go. And it's interesting that it's Alice in Wonderland, because Alice in Wonderland, at least by SRA victims, claim that they use a lot of Alice in Wonderland triggers or imagery. Yes, obviously you got the bricks and the Freemasonry and all that kind of stuff in it, but they use a lot of the phrases that come from Alice in Wonderland. It's like a mass hypnosis kind of a thing, but you might, if you talk to Sabrina Wallace, talk about how they're using this with the tech to connect into your neural networks and place this stuff in there so you're more able to be accessed by the technology and then therefore mind controlled or triggered when you watch something like this. Like you could be having a completely normal day and then you see some Alice in Wonderland imagery, and apologies if someone, I don't know how to do it in this world where you don't come in contact with this stuff while you're exposing it, but you come in contact with something that's an Alice in Wonderland phrase or imagery. That's why when you go to Disneyland and all these kinds of places where they have all this kind of stuff, it seems to be a pedophilia park of mind control madness. From everything that I can tell, done by Freemasonry and a lot of the secret society bullshit and military industrial complex. Disneyland isn't even part of the United States. It's part of like Britain or something.
Doesn't it have its own like district or something like that? Something stupid.
It's its own like country essentially.
Yeah, Florida can't impose things on it. It owns.
No.
It has,
What about California? Is that the same case? Like, because I heard about that from in Florida, where it's essentially its own country, owned. It makes its own, has its own police force, the like all of that stuff. But I've never really heard them talk about California. And then there's other Disneylands around the world, right? Isn't there one in Paris and one like in other parts of the world?
I don't
too?
know if they're all like. I mean, maybe they all are at this point districts of Britain or whatever it is that they bow down to, or however they control it. Disney World in Florida definitely is. I don't know about the one in California. I did visit that one when I was younger. Some of the rides were all right, but I wasn't into it. I didn't know what I know now. But it's also, it's tied to a lot of the Q stuff, the White Rabbit, adrenochrome, going down the rabbit hole, all that kind of stuff also stems from it, which is some part of the psyops that they've been pushing hardcore on the alternative media side of things. I don't know if the one in California is, or if the ones that are in other countries are also. I would assume that's what they've done. They have their own police force, at least in the one in Florida.
Right. And it makes me wonder with the cruise ships and stuff too. How does that work?
Is that fudge with a sheet over it?
Oh, it's showing up. Oh, I thought I was just messing with it by myself.
Yeah.
The old fudge is playing around with the sheet.
He's fudge.
Man, when you showed that elf behind him, I almost peed my pants laughing. Was that nostalgia or what?
That was the best. I completely forgot that he had a thing for cats, and he was always going out. I totally remembered.
I was like,
yes, they ate cats. Alf and his species or whatever, his alien brothers and sisters or whatever would eat cats. That's what they ate on their planet.
I always get in trouble for chasing the cat.
Yeah,
yes.
I forgot.
Once again, they're just making everybody jelly that's not in the Telegram chat, because if you're not in the D-Mind and Booma San Telegram chat, you're missing out on a lot of fun being had with memes and all this stuff. You don't even know what we're talking about. But we have a good time, and that's what helps us break up all this serious talk that really is. Right. I had a little bit of fun with this, and I know the promo was a little bit creepy, that song. Itsy Bitsy Spider kind of make or whatnot, but I'm trying to mix the both, because I don't want us to, like, I don't know, it's tough to talk about this stuff, but it is serious, and like we've been saying, trying to figure out what the fuck is actually going on. I don't know if we'll get those answers in this life, but we definitely have a little bit better of an understanding now that we're learning more about the tech and the way that they've been influencing the biofield and tapping into under our skin and harvesting our energy. Oh boy.
Right. And I would have to agree that I would have never even thought of that as an aspect until I started watching Sabrina's information, and I went, oh, wait a minute. So then now that my kids are coming to me with these experiences, I'm going, but is it the tech?
Right. It's really hard to know, really. And you know, it's interesting because I've lived in different houses, different apartments, different, mostly in Washington, pretty much all in Washington, but some areas are worse than others for that kind of activity.
Oh no, I think she froze.
Area that I lived, that house that I lived in, where it's in that house.
Again, were those houses older? Yeah,
you're going in and out, Heather.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, how many of those paranormal things, like Charlie said, were in older homes and in houses that could possibly have had mold spores or things that were hidden within the walls, or those types of things. Like, how many of the paranormal activities happen in the older homes? Right?
Yeah, and what forces potentially use those networks to communicate? So it doesn't necessarily move the the spiritual forces out of the picture entirely. It's almost like that's their relay line. These are their conduits to express themselves. Maybe. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I know that there's things that we do not understand. And
right. And then Straw Hat pointing out here about the internal tattoo that Sabrina brought up, some of the stuff that she shared in those South Carolina porch chats, number 5 specifically, some really deep shit that she dropped on people, and some serious stuff, and so people understand a little bit more about what she's personally gone through, both her and one of her daughters, and she dropped some serious stuff in that I didn't even expect her to, and you guys should check those out if you haven't. But that gets into where they do this stuff young. When you think about some of the stuff that I've talked about, you know, or the Benadryl Hat Man or whatever that one was called that Mike brought up, certain substances open our minds up to something. I don't know what it is, or influences our mind in certain ways. We'll think about all the things that they're putting into to us with vaccines. And as kids now get more and more of those things, what is that doing? I mean, a lot of it is allowing their tech to connect into the body a lot more, and then you're augmenting a human into something else. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Black Mirror, and in one of them they have a certain tech that's like over the eyes, where he thinks he's shooting an enemy because that's what it's relaying to him. Was perception is that an enemy is about ready to kill him, and he's gunning him down, and then the tech starts to glitch out, and he realizes he's just shooting innocent women and children.
Yeah. I've seen those. Like, if you really want to see some of the stuff that they're projecting out there, Black Mirror is one of them, and they're creepy.
Yeah, Black Mirror, they've gotten a little bit less dystopian, even though they always are dystopian. They were a lot more hardcore earlier on, like creepy. Like every time you get done with one, you're like fucking depressed because you're like,
what the fuck did I just watch?
I can see that as a possibility. Maybe all these possibilities exist in a world of tech where they can pull us into Ready Player One living situations where it's kill boxes and you're just in your home, and your only connection to something greater than your little spot that you get sick of is going into the oasis, this digital world, or whatever they're gonna fucking call it. And then you're gonna be able, or you're gonna be susceptible. You're gonna have a bodysuit where you could feel like you're getting shot, or you're gonna have sensations and blah 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 blah. But you're gonna also like. And there are horror games. There are games like you watch these people and they have their headsets on. There was even one where a guy was like kind of like walking as if he was like on a tightrope in his living room, and the wife pushed him. And as he fell to the ground and threw off his headset, he was screaming as if he was falling.
Yeah.
And that's a grown-ass man. That's not a child's mind that's being manipulated. That's a grown-ass man that it was so real to him that for a moment he forgot that it wasn't real. And he was falling. He thought he literally was falling to his fucking death.
Right, but have you had a VR headset on before?
Yeah, PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I mean, it really does kind of feel like that. So the longer that you're on it, and you know how when you put those things on, and it's all kind of like black and white, kind of grainy. It's before you actually like start the game or whatever you're gonna do. That's like my dreams. Those are my dreams. It's real like that. Like I have that headset on.
Right.
And those are wireless headsets. They're wireless. So you're getting the signal in your brain
directly to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like they have the wireless headsets now for, relaxation purposes.
Or vagal nerve stimulators that are supposed to stimulate your
Right. Those make me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they, Heather? Right. It's pulling you into a world that might even be. So we're talking about some scary shit. We're talking about that as one aspect. One way that they mess with people, you hear this in SRA, and you hear it in all the kind of like mind manipulations or whatever, in military experiments or CIA experiments that they're talking about in the MK Ultra and stuff like that. Some of it is torturous and horrific and fear-based. And then some of it is fantasy-based. It's Wizard of Oz. You're going to Oz and you're experiencing something that is enjoyable and pleasurable. Or dissociate. Yes.
Wonderland, Pleasure Island, Pinocchio, Pleasure Island, Alice in Wonderland Syndrome. Wizard of Oz, Emerald City. Now, if all of those, if they're altering our perception as children with, you know, neuroinflammation and neurotoxins, we would then be wide open in a receptive state, a receptive, suggestible state to accept the programming and the bullshit and then create and live outside of objective reality for the rest of our lifetimes. And we know that these, you know, these early vaccination programs cause neurological injury to one extent or the other. There's one doctor who did a bunch of research on it, who was dead very soon after, who proved that every time you get a vaccine, you have a mini stroke activity in your brain.
Yes.
So if this is happening to children, as infants, you're causing early neuronal shaping and scar. Yeah, that will inhibit your ability to develop certain centers of your brain from then on
for it
out.
to fire properly, to fire in the proper channel
from the jump. And Dorian, I sent you my husband's vaccine records from when he was a kid, because he kept getting injured every time he'd get vaccines. And back in the 80s, when doctors maybe were a little more honest, they wrote on his vaccine records, like, no more shots, extreme reaction. Of course, his mother.
You want me to show these? You've got them.
Yeah, the names blotted out, but just so people can get an idea of what we are not even allowed to do. These doctors would lose their license for.
Yeah, if they did that now.
If they did this.
There's a 6-year difference between the two of us, and the amount of injections that he got versus what I got are even, you know, hugely different compared to what, say, our oldest child got. And it's just like, when I started explaining that to my mom was like, what the heck are they doing? And I'm like, augmenting us with whatever they're injecting us, whether it's changing us, causing damage to shut us down from our natural ability to feel, whether it's so that we're, you know, so disconnected, who knows? And I mean, then they're making it so that young adults can't get jobs, can't go to work. But what are they doing? Well, they're putting on the virtual reality and going hooking up to one, you know, Ready Player One.
Right.
Because they've got nothing else to do because they can't work. And here in our province, they actually stopped them from being able to work at a young age. And told businesses that they couldn't put them, anybody under the age of 15 or whatever, or 15 and under, was not allowed to touch cash. So what businesses did we used to work in the day where we used to always handle cash? We were working at the till, or we're working at McDonald's, or we're working at where we were constantly handling cash.
That's right. Right? More cash.
We have it.
And now they're not allowed to. And then they wonder why they won't.
No, they can make their own healthcare decisions.
Yeah, and they can make their own healthcare decisions.
They can't handle cash.
You know, we've got an autistic boy across the street. He's 21 now. He's lived here the entire time we've lived here, so we've watched him grow up. And he knew growing up that the vaccines were hurting him and injuring him because he lives with a migrant family. He's an American citizen, but his parents are not. But in order to get the checks, you got to, you know, vaccinate all your kids and prove it. So he knew they were hurting him. He said every time he would get him, his head would just feel awful and he couldn't see and he was dizzy and he was panicky. And so when he turned 18, he said, no more, I'm not doing them anymore. Stop vaccinating. He tells his parents, stop vaccinating my brother and sister. This is going to happen to them. Like, he has the awareness of that. So when the COVID vaccines came out, he was like, oh, hell no. And I was like, good boy, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But you see, and knowing that, that's a huge weight, a huge burden on him. Because he knows that, and you're helpless. There's nothing, you know, nobody will listen to you. Nobody will believe you. It is devastating.
We talked to his parents a bunch and, you know.
Yeah, like we had gone during the H1N1 scare back in the early 2000s. I was running a home daycare, and so I did what I thought was the right thing, and we all went down and got our injection, and like it shut down my daycare for 2 whole weeks because we were so sick. And after that, like we just said, I went, no, I'm not getting any more of them. And he didn't get it, and he didn't get sick. My mom didn't get it. My mom was coming in to take care of me because I was so sick and my kids were so sick. And then that was the point where, you know what? We haven't had a flu since, until we caught whatever naturally went around for COVID shedding or whatever it was. Who knows? Because we never got those injections either. But we did get sick in 2021 for whatever was going around.
Well, but I mean, people keep saying going around, you know, it was going around. They were up into the 5G or
They were up in the
you know what I mean?
5G,
Like every time
100%.
they bring out the next G, or before that it was radio, right? They bring out the radio, then they bring out the TV, then they bring and every time around that same time, people get these symptoms,
Really
flu-like
sick.
symptoms.
That's why
And I'll
everybody
tell you,
has
when
to
I got
be.
what was supposed to be COVID. And I say, I mean, you know, they say that it felt like I had radiation poisoning, like I had radiation burns on my skin. My skin felt like
It was on
you know,
fire.
I lost the taste and smell and all that, but my skin literally felt like I had a sunburn, sort of.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and it wasn't like I wasn't hot. You know, when you get a sunburn, your skin is hot. I wasn't hot like that. I mean, I kind of had a fever, but it wasn't like a sunburn, normal sunburn, where you can feel the heat coming off of you because you're burnt. But it felt like I had like even to touch my skin hurt.
Yeah.
All through my body.
Yeah. When the nerves are being exposed to all these new inundated frequencies, I mean, they're going to have that biophysiological response.
And I was in another area. I was staying at my cousin's, which is like an hour and a half drive from here. And that's, you know, it was like she came down with it first and we were there. What?
Just real quick, Lioness roars. It's too glitchy, but we appreciate you coming on. Maybe we can connect a time when you're a little bit got a better connection and stuff. It was awesome having you on, and what you shared was important to this topic. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, and I'll be in touch with you and we can work something out. We'll get you back on.
You betcha.
Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks for coming.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, like his mom actually thought we were gonna die when we said that we.
But that's what happened too. I had to really seriously just be like, it's gonna be okay, you guys. Everybody's just like, everybody was really scared. I got kind of sucked into it at first, and it was like, we're gonna be fine. I just knew we were gonna be okay.
I looked at him and I said, if it's going to be what takes me out, that's what takes me out. Like,
well, and I'm wondering, though, if they bring it out in certain, like, say, a city or whatever at different times, because I was way over there. Nobody around here was sick.
Yeah.
But everybody out there was.
Well, they did, because they had to load balance it, right? So that's where you were seeing people that looked like they were getting electrocuted, because we are the node, like as Sabrina says, we're the nodes on the network. So all those people that were like looking like they were going stiff as a board and falling over and dying, it was because there was too much of the signal going through their bodies, right? So of course it was, you know, as they were bringing it out in different areas, that's why areas were getting sick.
Right. And I think they were different amounts of radiation or whatever you want to say in different areas, and they were trying all kinds of different stuff. They were load balancing. Sabrina and the synergists and whatnot, they call it a biocyber interface instead of a bioweapon. Biocyber interface, connecting more people to what they're doing with all these like data centers and connecting even deeper into our skin. Some people talk about the spike proteins. There could be aspects of that, different batches of various things, but then there's also, instead of shedding, what could be called transmission. So even those of us that didn't take those jabs got affected by those who did, because biofields transmit energies and frequencies and stuff, and their energies and frequencies have completely changed. Some people have changed mentally quite a bit when they took those damn things, even if they didn't get physically ill and sick or die. And then just real quick, and then I'll go back to you guys. But a free range person, really, at this point, I mean, some of us haven't taken the COVID vax, but at the same time, it's just really people that are pushing back against human augmentation. you want to be a free range human or a free range person, human, whatever, it's just you're pushing back against this human augmentation rollout that is trying to change us from what we biologically and were made by God to be. That's what it is.
And via the use of all the ancient mancies, right? Geomancy, erythromancy, technomancy. So everything that appears to be magic, the high sciences and the high maths. And so influencing us with metals, minerals, and frequencies. The infrasound, light, perturbation. And how do they get those metals in us? You know, the most efficient way to get it into,
he does this all the time.
But the most efficient way to get it into your organs is via injection. Because
in the bloodstream.
Eating it and
injecting it are different.
Yeah, and inhaling it is different too, because we have a filtration process, you know, the mucous membranes. We've got backup systems, but right into the blood, and it goes right into the brainstem, right into the organs. And then when those metals settle there and they're hit with frequencies, they heat up like a fork in the microwave and cause oxidative damage around those tissues. It'll make you feel like shit. You'll have the flu because your liver's inflamed. Your detox pathways are backed up, and we call that the flu. But it's also a detox response from an overload of oxidative stress that your body's trying to clear. What causes oxidative stress? Well, radiation, really efficiently and very quickly. Just riding an airplane, people feel like crap afterwards, just from being in that intensity of frequency in a small metal tube that now you can run Wi-Fi in, which is like, and we're having a ton of solar activity. So like it's just, I'm not for flying for a multitude of reasons, mostly just TSA, but
I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I don't want to fly down to a synergy, get together or a workshop, because I just don't want to go through their crap.
Right.
I have a passport, but
I got to get Velvet on. Maybe she'll join us for the reunion or whatever. I got to see how it went, because she did come through the border or drove through it, I believe.
And I would drive. I would absolutely drive down there. No hands down. I would go through the border and drive into wherever I needed to go. But I do not want to fly. Like, I am not happy with. So coming back from Mexico, I had to scan my face at our Canadian border. Guess what? I'm not tall enough for the camera to pick up my face.
Oh, he's so cute.
I'm so short that it wouldn't pick up my face. And then it's posted. So when it printed it out with their whole facial scanning recognition baloney, like it showed a picture of my husband's face. And I'm like, yeah, no, here's my passport. But your tech is great. Like,
that's the other thing.
And maybe that was my biofield pushing back, going, nope, you can't see me. No.
Right.
But yeah, I just had to laugh.
Yeah, and someone was talking about how the food is getting worse here in America, especially, and I do believe that's the case. We were just, we spoil our cats, if you didn't know. But I guess a lot of the fish products and stuff, and so they can be high in mercury, and you got to watch out for certain stuff like that and various things or whatnot. But a lot of the fish is harder to get right now. It seems like they're changing things. I've seen it where, and I was telling my parents, I watched some of these videos. So like you go into some of these nicer places, like I think Natural Grocers is one of the places we go, but you can get those packages of like the white fish. Somebody bought some of that and had it in a bowl of water. And they took it and they crumbled it up like a sponge and put it back in there, and it just laid itself right back out.
Yeah.
When it should flake and break apart. They are changing meat.
Yep.
They are changing fish. They're changing everything. And then they're taking control of a lot of the like fast food or even stuff that's not necessarily so obviously fast food. And it comes all from the same fucking places.
Yes. Yeah, it all comes from the same warehouses, the same Pratt's food places, the same, Yeah, and I know people who've worked at some of those industries where all of your food that comes in to the grocery stores are all being ordered from the same major warehouses.
Right. And what is it in the Christmas Carol where he starts experiencing ghosts? And he says one of his excuses earlier on is like he must have ate something and it did something to cause him to like have a hallucination or whatever. Like, what is the food doing that could be interacting with all the other things that we've brought up in this episode that could be causing people to have certain experiences that can only be spoken of as paranormal if you have no idea what the fuck is actually going on, which no one fully knows. But the more we learn about the tech and the capabilities that they have, it starts to become a little bit more obvious, at least to some of the answers that could be what's going on. And then like Charlie's learned like through health issues and stuff like that about oxidative stress and some of this fungus stuff and how EMF makes that proliferate and how that influences our mind. I mean, fungus is a very interesting thing itself. So there's many things that we can continue to discuss here. Are we all good on your end, Heather? You dropped out again?
I don't know. I can't make any promises with my Wi-Fi over here.
I know Derek's going to check out because our ribs are done. So I'll stay on, but he's like, I want ribs.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. I would.
Yep.
You're doing the right thing, my man. But it was nice meeting you. And I look forward to seeing you on again if you want to come on.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, we got a George. He decided to infiltrate.
You got a George?
We got a George.
Hi, George.
Cat for the background you have, too.
Right? My black cat who came home with me. He gives me heck because I was not a cat person, and now we have 4 cats.
Right. And then if you watch the last South Carolina Porsche chat, the intro, their picture that Sabrina gave me. And so I added a little something there where it was like, trust your cat, but question everything else. Is a black cat. My first cat when I was a kid, I named him Panther, of course, obvious reasons, I guess, as a child. But he was an all black stray that came into the area, and he was like the best cat freaking ever. This is a wild cat that even when it was getting fed great food, still had like the hunger to go and eat, the wild animals that was giving it parasites. And but it never bit or scratched or anything. It was just like unreal that a wild cat. I mean, it might have been someone's cat and they got rid of it or whatever, dropped it off the area that I grew up in. It was a small development where they did that. But this cat came in and still loved to go out and be out in the wild and whatnot. But it never bit or scratched or did anything nefarious. It was a good cat. Yeah. All black.
I was going to say our Cleo, which is a calico, she was the one who turned me into being a cat lover. And I was full adamant. We had a dog and he wanted a cat. And I was just like, I don't want a cat. And so for Christmas one year, I actually paid for the cat at the Humane Society already. And then I bought him a litter box and I bought him the cat treats and the cat toys. And underneath the Christmas tree was all the cat stuff. But I said, but you're picking out your own cat because I'm not doing that. And he picked out Cleo, and she's been our main cat for 11 years. She's almost 11, 12 years old now. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. We call her the original grumpy cat because she can be a little bit, she's got that calico sour to her. But she's never been mean. Like, she's not mean to us. She doesn't scratch you. She doesn't bite you. She just looks grumpy.
Just gives you the attitude, but she doesn't do anything.
They just have resting grumpy face.
She
right.
does.
Get some of those cats where people put like clothes and stuff on them and they just sit there. But they're not fighting and biting or scratching anything.
Nope.
They just accept it in the sense that they're not going to physically lash out, but they will just with their little biofields or whatever it is that cats have, they tell you, I am not happy.
Yep.
Right.
You're going to know it.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why?
My last cat was 21 when she passed.
Wow.
We had a very sincere grumpy face in the last couple of years there. So cute.
Right.
She's the best.
And I can tell she's getting up to being that senile age because, like, if you touch certain parts of her hips, she's like, don't, like, because, she's getting sore and she doesn't jump up as high as she used to. She kind of, like, hides underneath things now. She's been more of a hider underneath things now. But, yeah, every single one of our cats has a different personality. They all do. and some of them are hilarious. Some of them, like George, he's a little derpier, so it's like lights are on, nobody's home.
What do you think of when animals act out where they seems like they can see something that we can't see? Do you think that they're actually seeing something that?
Oh yeah, they absolutely. And Esmeralda definitely. Any single noise, she's like, "What was that?" And she's like on guard. If she's sitting with me, she's like, "What? Wait."
Have you seen the videos where there's a baby sleeping and the cat's like fighting something that's not there? Have you ever experienced something like that? I haven't seen anything quite like that. But my cat is freaked out. Even my dog is freaked out for like literally staring into a corner and would not. My dog, her whole body was frozen.
Yeah. So the
and
house
would not move.
Where that paranormal video was, Susan's basement was, like you said, abnormally frigidly cold. And her dog would like growl at the back door or the door to the basement and would like not like to go near that door and the back door of her house where that door to the basement was. And he would like guard the door. So when I say that there's
got to be something to that. There's no way that they wouldn't just do that for no freaking reason. They got to be seeing or hearing something.
They're hearing something, seeing something. And like I said, I can't explain whether it's from different, like as Sabrina talks, different phages. I can't tell if it's mold. I can't tell if the dog's freaked out because it's sensing something we can't see.
Right. But they see differently too. They see on a different spectrum, a different color spectrum, everything. So,
and their neurological injuries would express similarly to ours with hallucination and sensitivity to things.
That's true because we vaccinate the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Well, we don't, but
well, see, that would be an interesting difference too. But even if you're not, and we're influenced by molds and things like that, they're going to be influenced by that too.
Well, they got whiskers on their face. They've got antennas on their face. So definitely, I mean, just like us, they've got their biofields that they work with to varying degrees for hunting and sensing
protection.
Acoustic stuff for hunting, like bats and just all kinds.
It really comes down to survival. We use it for survival.
Yeah. Necessity breeds the evolution, or
like my cat started acting really, really weird one time. Like when it comes to bring back a little bit to paranormal, my son works at one of the older hotels here in our city, and this is a hotel where there's been deaths, there's been things, there's been stuff that's happened, and we all couldn't figure out why the cats were wigging out, and they were just acting really sketchy, and then they were like trying to get into his bedroom, but yet he had a cat door that he was like, no, I don't want you in my room. But they were like purposely trying to get in there for something. And then my husband went down and he immediately piloted and he said, something's here. Go. And he just said, go open the door. And so when he says stuff, I just listen because I know that he's seen, sensed, and felt things that I can't. Mm-hmm. So we went and we opened up the back door and he was like standing like he was pushing it out with his energy and just like getting whatever the heck was in the bedroom out of the house.
Like pushing back
against it. And I stood at like the kitchen where the back door was, and I kind of stood on guard, like, you're not getting past me, so you better get the fuck out, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think we automatically put up a shield when we do that.
And I've been to places where people have either claim that they're psychic or claim that they have abilities, and for some strange reason, every time that they go to do something with the energy work, they always want to hold my hand or they always want to hang on to me, and I'm like, why do you need to hang on to me? And
there's a reason why they reach for you, like it's an instinct for them to connect, like you must be like some kind of beacon or something,
a projector, or and I says, I don't know what it is,
that maybe they don't even know how to explain it. They're just you get a sense to do something, to step to the right for whatever reason or whatever, and you just kind of roll with it. You just naturally get in there. No, there was a question that somebody had on there, Dorian, about cats.
Yes.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
there's people that have talked about it because big cats do not have the slit eyes, and house cats, the breeds, for whatever reason, have the slit eyes like a reptilian would. I've heard people talk about it. I don't know
when
if
they
that's the
glow
case.
red, it's creepy.
Yeah, some cats are fucking evil, like perhaps a reptilian would be. But
so
most
are people
cats that I've come in contact with are either just scared if they lash out, or they're good kitties.
George is a bit of a shit disturber. He likes to be a bit of a shit. He'll walk up to you with your glass of water sitting there, and he'll just start drinking from your glass. You're like, go away.
Right. This paranormal talk really turned into a cat fucking dive, though.
I know, right? I'm sorry.
We really should get back a little paranormal while we have a little time here.
But it does connect.
They say that cats are the in between.
Yeah,
they can be in both worlds.
Who's they?
Who's they? I don't know. People.
I mean,
out
Egyptians
there.
used to think and worship
people out
cats
there
where they even depicted in movies. It's talked about on all kinds of places.
CIA Hollywood.
Right.
Judging you to believe that.
They're projecting you.
And it's the fungus.
Right.
Well, so cats are half fungus.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
That would explain a lot.
I saw somebody come in here that was just like, I thought this talk was supposed to be about the paranormal.
Everything ties into it.
I do the best that I can. And it's mostly women that are the warriors, so the women are the ones that are stepping up and actually showing up to these fucking chats. And so all you guys out there need to freaking start joining too. But
listen, the paranormal ties in to all of this because what we're talking about is perception. And what we're trying to discern is perception. You know,
right.
We're trying to discern the way the cats perceive reality. What spectrums of awareness are we missing out on? And what is maybe influencing our perception and really hashing that out. And so it goes on a lot of vectors, that's for sure. But it really does all center around the discussion of perception.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have to agree on that. What are your perceived? How did you grow up? What did you grow up believing? What did you,
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, there's a lot of things outside influences that influence our perception of things, our perception of reality.
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, that was a pretty solid attempt to transition back into the paranormal from the cats. Well done, Charlie.
Well done.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've had so many other different experiences with some, like I said, I don't know whether I project. I don't know if that's paranormal. And some people would think that it's considered the woo-woo, right? To do telepathy. Is that paranormal, or is that the mycelium connect? Is that us connecting because of our biofields, right? So where is that? Do we have these abilities because of our biofields and how interconnected we are? Or is it them projecting into us? That's where I question, like, is it from us, or do we actually have these abilities? Are we actually sensing these things? Like, is it because we're able to? Because we've been working our biofields, right?
Yes. I think we can perceive things, but what they do is they tell us the conclusions we will draw.
Right.
Right.
You know, they program us with our conclusions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, that's the snare.
Right.
The programming.
Mm-hmm.
Predictable programming, I really don't like to say that. The only thing predictable is that they're going to program us.
Right. Yeah.
But I never used to like to watch the horror things, because to me it was like, I've experienced crap that I was like, no, that shit's real. You don't mess around with that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I never liked horror films. I still don't like them. I'll watch them as long as the lights are on and as long as I've got Derek with me, because I'm like, no, some of this.
Oh, I can't watch certain things, even Black Mirror and stuff like that. I can't watch that crap at night. It has to be. It has to be daylight for a few hours. I have to be able to get like another comedy movie or something else before I close my eyes.
Yeah. Because to me, it's always felt, and again, it's felt real because I've had experiences where I've had stuff like the Ouija board thing moving on its own, and we're like, what in the world? You know?
The last scary thing I saw was the haunting of Bly Manor, I think is what it was called. And it was around Halloween. And I'm like, I have not watched a spooky movie in years, it felt like. So that one appealed to me because it's like a haunted house, felt very traditional. Of course, it got into the real psychological demented shit as well. But the thing that I noticed, and I would show Zane every time they would do it, were those the sound of it goes
yeah. Yes.
They do it in Dune. So
yes.
That is having a neurological effect. It's
Yes.
one of many things that they could do. But I saw that pattern happening in music too, and a lot of the mumble rap.
Yes.
The theme goes like
is it frequencies that they're using to perturbate fear?
Yes. Or apathy.
Yeah.
Or anger, or they can
go ahead. I was about to start rapping. That's fucking terrible. I'm glad you cut me off. Please say something before I rap.
Oh, I am so sorry. I interrupted you.
Let's get you rapping.
You have
hit it.
No. I'll just go on mute.
Fucking ladies, lady takeover. It's the takeover. It's the podcast snatcher takeover from the ladies. It's like the body snatchers, but it's the podcast snatchers. Freaking ladies have taken over. There's times where I wanted to say something and they give no chance. They will talk over each other so that no one ever can jump in, especially no one with a beard.
We are so good at doing. We have lots of practice.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Why don't you just put us all on mute?
Balls is allowed to say anything. I mean, I guess there's ladies with beards nowadays. I wanted to say something real quick though, but yes, someone pointed out something. I didn't get to say it earlier. I just want to say it. Just let me fucking say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it. They're making reality horrific so that you do want to go into the digital world and into these spaces, especially for the kids. That's why they prefer being online and in their games and stuff like that, because they hate the world, and the world makes mommy and daddy mad because mommy and daddy are always trying to just get by, pay the bills, get some fucking food, and deal with a relationship with lots of pressures that are put on them with having children, because having children now is like fucking it's like tens of thousands of dollars to have a child now, just to be able to afford it, and then to be able to pay your mortgage and all that other kind of stuff, or if you're living in an apartment dealing with neighbors. But anyways, yes, part of what I wanted to say earlier when we were talking about various things, because some people brought up video games, we got into the VR headset talk, Ready Player One. Yes, and that's how I felt growing up, even though I played a lot of sports and I did a lot of outside activities and I've always been into hiking, the world seems messed up. They say like death and taxes. Absolutely. That's the guarantee here, is death and taxes. You can't just go and live your life. Now, I'm not saying that people should just be freeloaders and not giving to humanity. I get all those kind of discussions, but they're going to make the world so, I mean, if they start implementing, and they have in some places, 15-minute cities and situations where you can't travel and you're stuck in these locations, and it just gets worse and worse. Say World War actually breaks out fully, which could possibly happen. Civil War, we'll see what happens. These fucking elections and all the shit that they throw at us and they dangle in front of us. Who freaking knows? They could pull anything. But the scarier, or say they don't, say they just keep throwing this stuff at us to mentally and psychologically make us always feel like it's going to happen. It makes you still want to disconnect or disassociate and go into the land of Oz, into the oasis, Ready Player One. Go into that digital world, go play my games, and just say fuck the world, and then deal with life on life's terms when you have to. Only when you absolutely have to. Otherwise, it's an evil place, and fuck it, and I don't want to participate. That's how they're trying to make people feel.
And I would have to agree with you completely, because I grew up where we weren't allowed video games in our house. Like we were not even allowed. I had a basic Atari, and that we were only allowed to touch when it was raining, when we were out at the lake. So like the chances of that happening was very slim. Whereas my husband, he grew up on all the systems, and at one point he had almost all the systems. He unfortunately got stolen from us, but he had an original Atari that still worked. He had a Sega. He had all those original game systems, and because he was an avid gamer. And yeah, it makes you want to check out because you don't want to deal with life.
When I was in college age or whatnot, we wanted to get all the groceries that we needed, ample drink, so beer and whatever that we could have, and then bottled water to deal with the hangovers and make sure that we weren't going to just get completely sick, and then a shit ton of weed and video games. And we wanted to block out the windows, lock the fucking door, turn off the little fucking phones that we had, not listen to anything, no interaction with the outside world, and we were going to game, and we did it for days on end, at least through the weekend. It was weed, booze, food, some drink of water, and hitting those video games, and fuck the rest of the world. That was the fun.
Yeah.
And the kids who didn't have the video games were doing the Dungeons and Dragons, or they were doing the LARP. They were disappearing into the character.
That's exactly what my husband was into. He's been playing D&D since he was 7 years old.
Right.
It's to get into that fantasy, that part of your brain, out of what you're physically going through, D&D
is mass marketed for a very real reason. It's still a big deal. I mean, they brought it back with Stranger Things, of course.
Yes.
This nerd,
that's right.
He was into Magic the Gathering. Yeah. But
right.
But yeah, they're going to get you one way. You didn't have video games in your house until way later.
Wait, just real quick. I'm seeing somebody here with you, Charlie. Correct? Like there's an actual person that's a real person. I'm not seeing a ghost right now.
It's not a real person. No. See, you called down. You were saying that that's just a bunch of women. It's just a bunch of women here talking. Okay.
And are you ladies seeing this?
Well, but here's the thing, though, because I got a note from somebody saying that there was a ghost in my house, and I don't believe in ghosts, so I totally ferreted it down, and I freaking caught the ghost. And let's see who you really are. It was Boo Boo all along.
Oh my God.
He would have got away with it too if it wasn't for us snooping kids.
My mind is blown. At the same time, I'm thankful because I thought the straitjacket people were coming because I was seeing things. Boo Boo, you jerk.
Yeah. I told you he's a fucking problem.
He's naughty. He's a naughty boo-boo.
Yeah.
He's getting shenanigans.
Bad boo-boo.
For those of you that are watching, you have no idea what's going on. And for those of you who might watch the replay or watch it for the first time, welcome. Boo Boo is the very first Booma doll that Liz Hillbilly Hart made, right? It's the very first one? Yes. So that is me as a crocheted Boo Boo doll. Booma doll.
The shoes come off.
That's cool.
Detail on that.
Yeah.
But of course,
so cute. She's so talented.
Boo Boo takes after me and is very mischievous and was just fooling some of us, me included, that there was a ghost walking around their house, and now we found the culprit. I mean,
yeah.
He's just messing with us.
Mystery solved. Ghost hunting complete.
Yeah. We did it, guys.
Typical creepy doll behavior, as Biscuits would say.
Oh, man. And guess what? If you still don't know what's going on, welcome to the club. This is the club of trying to figure out what's going on without knowing what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
We're just winging it.
Right. You can keep plugging into your influencers that'll tell you what's going on, even though they're full of shit, but it sounds good. The White Hats are about ready. They just took out Lindsey Graham. They're going to announce that Mitch McConnell's dead, and they're going to tell the world that they've been saving us behind the scenes. And they get
Oh my God.
thousands of people watching them at a time. And here we are with like, maybe 100 people watching. And welcome everybody, and thank you for being here. And anybody that supports the channel, I really appreciate it. If you're on the YouTube, I never say this, give it that hype button. Yeah, hype it up. Help the algos.
I try and hype
No, I
everything.
don't care.
They cut me off. Well, I can cut everybody. You can only do 3 a week. And then there's certain, I can't choose the videos that I want to hype necessarily. It's either an option or it isn't. Sometimes it's not even an option.
You're trying to control who you get to hype.
Don't you make excuses.
Right.
You're wasting hype on bullshit. You're watching some bullshit, aren't you? I don't know how hype work. I don't. Some channels don't have them. I'm pretty sure mine's set up to get hypes because people say they hype it, and then I see that they hype it.
I hype you all the time. But it won't let me hype everything. Yeah.
I go in and I like all the videos.
I pretty much hype you and Sabrina. That's it.
Don't sell any of the Boo Boo dolls to Q Card. It will be a voodoo doll. The Boo Boo doll will be a voodoo doll in the hands of a Q Card.
No.
And it will not go well.
No.
Everyone buy Liz's Booma dolls so he doesn't get assaulted.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Good people buy them. And then we're figuring out the Boo Boo beads.
Yes.
It might be an added accessory that we can pass over to Liz and highlight that Charlie's put together some amazing ones. And they don't have to be just the Booma ones.
Oh.
There's Heartfire. There's things that go with all of the characters.
They're on their way. They're on their way to her as we speak.
Yes!
That's awesome.
You guys are connecting with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll show you guys. I'll share with you, Booma, in Telegram, a sneak peek of Hillbillies Booma beads because she got her very own design.
Nice.
Boo made her very own. So here you go.
Yes. And if you
That's
receive
awesome.
them, they help you. If you're evil, they destroy you from the inside out.
So that actually brings into some of the paranormal is that my children very much pick up and wear crystals to either ward, protect, or, save off their biofields, right? Oh my God, those are great. They got a heart in them.
Right. Yeah.
Hey.
Hillbilly Hearts. This is the ones that Hillbilly Hearts put together? Or are these the ones that you sent her?
I sent her these. These were, I made her own set.
So she's got her own set. I love it.
Nice.
So this is the very first of what could become my dream of creating the internet of Booma booty beads that disconnect our asses from the cloud. Place them where you will. Place them where you will. But if it becomes a situation where there's a surveillance state, y'all know where you're going to have to put those things. To at least have a chance.
People, I'm sorry to break it.
They're going to have a sensor specifically for Booma beads. They got to make sure that they check the anus to make sure that there's nothing in there that is disrupting their signal from taking over your ass.
It's the fastest and most efficient way to break the signal.
I sent the picture of your beads too, Booma. You're the painfully beautiful beads.
Oh, okay.
Oh, painfully beautiful. It's perfect.
It's more painful. She lied. It's painful. Oh, God. It's only painful. Glow in the dark ones, too.
And a hard black heart.
Say the lights go out. They take our lights and our electricity out, and you only have the lighting of your beads. And it's a black heart.
All right.
Oh my gosh! There's only a small
disruptive tech. Yeah.
Booma tribe that even knows what's going on right now, and I love it. I love my small sandbox, as juxtaposition would say. And yes, someone was asking what would juxtaposition say about Lindsey Graham's death. He'd probably say that Lindsey Graham, I don't know, who knows what he would say. Maybe he wouldn't even care because he hates some of those people so much that it wouldn't be even relevant to him. Or he'd say that he's not really dead and it's just a part of the show or whatever.
He went to Valhalla.
Garroted. He's been garroted.
He's been
with the bayonet.
Right, he's been garroted with the same bayonet that they say that they used in the O.J. Simpson trial.
Right.
Yes, exactly. That is the attitude of all of the noobs that come in here. A noob's not a bad thing. It's just that you're new to the channel or whatever. But Denise is on it. You have no idea what you're talking. She has no idea what we're talking about, but she's in. That's the attitude we need.
Love it.
That's right.
Because that's how we all feel.
That's perfect.
We feel like we kind of know some things, but we don't know what the fuck is going on. But
Well, I
it's
think
up to
what we're
us.
doing
It's up to
here-
us together. Damn it.
We're exercising our discernment. This is an exercise. It's discernment practice. We're trying to move our neuroplasticity, to widen and hone in and zoom on the shocked of objective reality. And I think a lot of people are frequency fenced in a limited ability to perceive, but I also think that we can push against that. And the Bible says where two or more are gathered, right? We can all put our perception together and witness better the big puzzle, the objective reality of things, by earnestly and humbly bringing our piece of the pie to the table, without a vested interest. And that's what I love about this community. Nobody's selling anything. We're just trying to put our heads together and share thought bubbles and come to an understanding of what the reality is so we can move forward with our loved ones wisely.
We're creating new neural pathways, asking questions. Wait, what? Why?
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
And yes, coffee enemas are a thing.
You need to take espresso shots.
If you're gonna take espresso beads, it's a thing. It could be a thing.
I gave you got the cold brew beads.
Oh, wait. I gotta pull those up, huh?
You got cold brew beads. Then she gets to choose which beads that go out. That's awesome.
No, I got the matrix of mendacity beads and the heartfire beads, though.
Oh.
Okay, I'll send you the rest.
That's so
great. Yeah, speaking of juxtaposition, he needed just a chaotic one.
Here's our fire bead.
Love it.
Here's the positivity neural pathways that we're making. The groovy tunes and the things that Sabrina is talking about. She's creating positive neural pathways. I'm creating maybe the crazy ones where life gets so intense that you need to go to that little crazy place that isn't quite insanity, where you don't need to be locked up or have a, stretcher come in with the fucking jackets. You don't need the jacket, but every once in a while to deal with the craziness of reality, you got to get a little.
What if I want my jacket, Booma?
If you want that straight jacket to protect yourself from yourself,
I want my jacket.
then we will grant that. If you want it, it's your choice.
Right?
The Matrix of Mendacity, and if you haven't heard the Matrix of Mendacity song that I made for juxtaposition,
that's so good.
It's a good one.
It was really good.
It was a really good one. It was all built off of parts of his transcript from one of his videos. And it starts out where you got to grab an adult beverage, which is often what he says before he does a show, because he always talks about stuff that's very depressing.
Yeah.
Where's the badass beats where you just say, I don't give a fuck?
Yeah.
Banger. That was stuck in my head for like a week and a half.
There you go.
Legit.
Trust the beads. We'll try to market them to the Q people. We'll say we'll just have 17 beads in it. We'll have 17 beads in it only, and it'll be trust the beads, and we'll get them to buy a shit ton because they're retarded. I was once a Q-tard, okay? So everybody calm down. That doesn't know my backstory. The reason I'm so hardcore against it is because I was dumb enough to fall for it for about 3 years. And now it pisses me off to no end. Q dropped to 2439, just says Booma beads.
Booma beads.
It's a delta right now. July 12th is when it was posted to. Booma beads. Here we go. All right. That was quite now. Okay, now I'm gonna give it back to Charlie so she can transition us back into paranormal if that's possible from where we are now.
She's like, what the heck do I do
now? Bro, I'm over here sending you the rest of the fucking pictures of the Booma beads.
You can't multitask like that. You can bring us back to the paranormal and how this is going to save us from the ghosts and all that good stuff.
Sure.
Do it. Save us from the ghosts.
One of the things everyone knows Topher, right? Well, not everyone, but a lot of folks in this community know Topher, Christopher of Biochar. And one of the things he said once that was really interesting to me was how when he would do ayahuasca and iboga and medicinal plants, initially he hadn't noticed what was going on, but as he matured, he began to notice that other people were having the exact same experiences he was having on the trip, and started going, wow, I think this is being artificially plugged into our psyche. So he stopped doing it altogether because he realized that those plants that all the shamans and all the Silicon Valley bros love to take and go on their ayahuasca adventures, or Jeff Berwick and Christoph Melchizedek in Egypt going and tripping on iboga and then going into the pyramids and all that stuff, opening you up. Sabrina talks about the stuff at the pyramids, the frequencies that are artificially being overlaid at the pyramids to maybe induce these sort of spiritual experiences in people. This altered perception that people will interpret as.
He's always learning. I love that.
As holy.
That's so totally awesome.
This is a confession that's now on the internet forever. Lady Slipper, you looked up butt beads, and I did not know this, but they sell butt beads in the shape of butts.
Your zone.
You can stick butts up your butt. That's lovely.
Oh man.
Booma, a name to remember. Yeah, fuck Cash Patel. Anyways, yes, Charlie said something important there. I don't remember what it was because I was in the
about the pyramids and the frequencies.
There we go.
Squirrel.
You can shove butts up your butt, you said.
You can shove butt beads up your butt. Wait, the beads in the shapes of butts up your butt.
Oh my god.
The things you learn on a Booma community streamer, I'm telling you, it's exciting. It's exciting that we're all here together and learning about this together. Here's Allison, CIA honeypot. If you don't know who Allison is, she is CIA honeypot.
Biscuits is honeypot, yeah.
That we can't
I made those ones. Those ones are gray at the top.
Yeah.
Right, because she's an older silver fox that has caught the eye of biscuits. But right now, we cannot tell who's winning the psychological warfare of honeypotting who and utilizing each for their own purposes. Whether Allison is in control of the biscuits or biscuits is in control of the Allison, or what is going on there. And more will be found out in time. Here is the season of the gong beads.
I love those.
Boo Boo's a very good worker. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And yes, look at this. He's been farming these things out.
Awesome.
He's a freaking, it's honest work, as someone said. He's but a simple farmer tending to his bees. It's not much, but it's honest work.
Yeah. He's got a good heart.
See, and in this one, the beads are actually in the beard, which is the way that I will market them to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
And then as people realize what they can really do, we know where those will go. And somebody was talking about how I would be sending like strands of my beard to Hillbilly Heart to put into the dolls. That's a bad idea.
No.
Beard hairs. They're basically just like really long pubic hairs. It's just the way it is. I don't know what else to say. I'm not gonna lie. Because I know I don't have pubic hair this long. Okay, let's just say that. TMI. I don't have it this long, and I'll find these hairs, and I'll be like, "Damn, that's a long." Oh, that's my beard hair.
Your own dental
man.
floss.
She'd be like,
Yeah.
Booma, these better be from your beard, bro. I'm just
Right.
saying.
If I did send my actual DNA to put in these dolls, then they would be voodoo dolls, and then a Q-tard will get a hold of it, and
Yeah,
then
no.
some bad things will happen.
No.
All right.
Bad.
But I'm not gonna send like a bag full of freaking beard hairs that look like a bunch of pubic
I
hairs.
really can't believe somebody asked you if you were doing that.
I mean, I think they were just joking and whatnot. Which
Okay, good. Because like, part of me's like, are you serious?
It's not that weird yet.
All right, we're coming up on the 3-hour mark. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get Chip his meds here pretty soon. So let's start. Let's calm down, people. All right, too much fun, maybe.
Do I need to get
There you go.
You
Brought it
first.
all the way back. Our pubes paranormal.
That says
Where did they
pubs.
come from?
Hubs,
Pubs.
not pubes.
Haunted distilleries.
Well, I thought pubes, so I think it's a misspelling. Because everybody these days is just trying to get rid of them, right? And act like they don't exist. It's just like the ghost that was in Charlie's house. Everybody just wants to pretend like it's not real. They got specialized razors just for men's balls now.
Oh man,
It's crazy.
Jesus.
Oh, right. So we needed a little laugh here. It started out a little heavy. We learned about some various characters growing up, and some ones that I had never heard of. I had never heard of Alice and Wonderland Syndrome. I had never heard of the Benadryl Hat Man or Hat Shadow. I had witnessed what I think of as Slender Man. We talked about Red Rum and Bloody Mary, and then some of the other aspects of these experiences that we have that do seem to be paranormal, that touches on both the EMF, it touches on some of the technology they're using, the way that they neurally nudge. It ties right into the mycelial network and the fungus stuff that we did in the last series with Charlie the pirate, Captain Charlie. We might have to bring back the pirate theme at some point. We'll see what happens. But anyways, and then we run it to this. And as Charlie says, every Booma show always comes back to the butt.
Yep.
I don't know what to say, Charlie. I think it's your fault, actually. I'm blaming you.
Probably.
Boo boo bees. I mean, you set the stage for me. I can't help myself. Yeah.
And we've come full circle.
The butt clan is here on D-Mind to butt us on. I don't know what this has become.
No,
Butter.
paranormal pubes and
butter,
frickin'
butter.
boobies.
Do you mind
You
to
learn something new every time you come on a Booma stream. So.
something new or a variation of the same thing, and it's still funny.
Yep.
It's like I'm going to each city on a tour and I'm giving the same joke, and it's funny every fucking time.
Yeah.
That's what comedians do, right? All right, let's start to close it out. Slam, start us off as we give our final statements or whatever we want to talk about. What did you enjoy about this, or what do you want to say to the people?
I just think you just need to be able to be aware of your surroundings. Like Charlie said, if we go out to that place and there's a ton of mushrooms or something, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, maybe it was the mushrooms. Like, it's not necessarily what we thought it was on the video screen, but like what you see and what you perceive, you really have to have some discernment. And I really think like when Sabrina talks about crystallography and using crystals to help change your biofield, I think those do help. So if you want to stop the night terrors, using your crystals by your bedside, putting them, like, I'm going to be honest, because we've had so much weird activity, we actually do have crystals around our property. We have them around the outsides of our home. We have them at windows and doors. We do grid our home because we've had some really weird stuff that we're like, no, thank you. You stay there. And there's ways to mitigate some of that too.
Right. We've discussed some of that on the channel. So you get the certain crystals for certain reasons.
Yeah.
And then if you don't believe in crystals and y'all freaked out and you're like super religious about it and like think that it's of the devil, the smartphone that you're using in your hand, the technology that you have in your house, it has crystals in it. Okay.
The microphones.
So let's be realistic about what's going on here and how it's being utilized. There's good and there's bad, and things can be used for good and bad. And we're hopefully using the internet in somewhat of a positive way. Hopefully a lot of people are having fun and they're laughing. And that's what I try to bring for part of what we do here, because we got to have a little heart fire. We got to have a little of the giggles, if you know what I mean. But then let's go to Charlie.
Yes, I think that it's important to have discussions like this, to examine things that we feel that we feel
can't fool me now, boo boo. I got you, boo boo. You've been exposed. No more games.
Back to his old tricks. No, but there's things in our world that we have been conditioned and programmed to ignore, and have been programmed to instead believe. Yeah. So that exercise in this perception, and exercising our perception in general, is just such a wise thing for us to be doing at a time that is trying to, put that dampening blanket over our ability to adjust our aperture and perceive objective reality effectively. And some things are deliberately concealed from our perception. And we're trying to poke around at those things that are deliberately concealed by the most powerful forces on Earth. So it's not easy to sniff around that and to keep an open mind. And I love that this community does that and doesn't get dogmatic about anything, that we're putting everything on the table and assessing it like adults.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great. I love it.
Right. And aside from just doing like the chats and some of the streams that we do with the panels and whatnot, we're doing this stuff daily, like in the Telegram chat. And you participate however much you want. Some people take breaks. Some people show back up after a week where they're doing stuff, whatever. But it's fun to have these conversations, because that's what we're all truth seekers, and we're sick of listening to narratives and stuff. And so we're all just trying to figure out. But yeah, and yes, that was part of the idea behind it, that crystals would be involved to help us, because they have some special properties for special reasons. But Heather, what would you like to say at the end here of this lovely panel?
Oh, it's been wonderful to have these discussions, whether it's the paranormal or some of the other ones. But like Charlie was saying, just having an open discussion with an open mind. We're all just trying to figure it out. And then I love that you bring the comedy with it. Mm-hmm. And we can laugh through some of this stuff. Not that it's not serious or anything like that. It's just, it's a nice break in being able to, it makes it more palatable, I guess.
Because some of the stuff is heavy.
Yeah.
Right. And you do it, your timing is perfect, because when it starts getting to a certain point, then you just find a way to kind of interject something, or you throw something up on the screen that, will kind of,
throw everybody
make
off.
It so it's yeah, just so we can take a break from that stress of feeling that, intensity, and then go, okay. And then, maybe we can come back to it. It makes it easier and less scary, I think, to have these discussions. And just be aware that, and take your thoughts captive. And I guess that's it.
Right. Oh, that was great. Nope, I try to have some fun. The world kind of pushes me that way. Otherwise, you can go to a dark place really quick. But everybody, like, we can enjoy this and have some laughs in between talking about some of this serious stuff here. But I know that everybody spends some time alone, and you're dealing with experiences some people aren't even wanting to talk about, or that you've disassociated from and you've pushed out of your mind. We've all had these experiences that we don't know what they are. I think every single person that's lived to a certain age has had these experiences that could speak to them, or they don't want to speak to them because they were so scary or mysterious or paranormal that they couldn't deal with it. And so we're going to have those conversations and be willing to have those conversations on here, but then also just mix in the laughter. Otherwise, it gets really, really freaky, like this freaking long hallway. Like that's creepy. Anyways, it's been great to have another one of these. We're gonna do, I believe, another paranormal. So there's gonna be some more people coming on and sharing some of their experiences. So we'll continue the discussion, and I appreciate everybody that joins, especially here in the live chat and actually participates, because I bring it on to the screen. You guys are a part of it. If you can only watch the replays, I appreciate you being here as well. But it's always fun to have a lot of this community come together at the same time and enjoy maybe some laughs, but then talk about some serious stuff that's going on in the world, because it's a tough place. But anyways, love you all. Catch you on the next one. God bless you, and peace.